GRG Podcast, where you get all the latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Live Wires Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Op, 100, live, and your host, K Mega 405. The GRG Podcast
starts right now.
Let's go. What's happening with everybody? Let's get that sound going. Let's see if it's there's no backup. Everybody lets me know if the voice sounds all right. No crazy feedback, anything like that. It is kind of different going on Mixer than it is doing something on YouTube. But we are live. We doing the damn thing. And we'll be doing the show live on Mixer from here on out. If the sound quality is tripping or anything like that, please let me know. But other than that, man, we are doing it live. Let's go, man. The GRG podcast is in full effect. We are doing the damn thing, man. Thank you for everybody that's coming up in here. And without further ado, I want to give a big shout out to my boy 108 Dragons. I hope he gets better. He's been down in the dumps. And damn, man, you know what I'm saying? Get better, bro, and be awaiting your rider when you come. So other than that, let's get to it. Without no further ado, let's get to the bums. And Bloody Knuckles said he was coming back here a little bit. He'll be here a little bit late because he had to polish up some of his Satan rings. Because if he didn't, he was going to have to sell his soul to the devil. So therefore, we're going to have to make sure that brother keep his soul for a little while longer. Anyway, let's get on to it, man. Six Slayer in the house. What's happening with you, bro, man? You was here last week, man, and you coming up in here this week. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just chilling. So Six Slayer here, 108 Dragons. Got a rep for my boy Lemon. Yeah, he's just under the weather. It's nothing crazy, but he'll be back. He'll be back soon enough.
All right, cool. All right. Then we moving on to 100. What's going on with you, bro? What's happening?
Man, chilling. Playing a little Madden.
Yeah, we gotta get that going, man. I've been saying I was gonna get you, but man, yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I told you I got a couple of new guns. My man Gone, we be playing. I've been putting in the Madden more. I just got over 120 wins, so I ain't never had 120 this quick.
Whoa, man, you just ain't been playing me, man. I would already. I mean, you would have been had like maybe. Man, like you would have been, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe 80, 85 wins. You know what I'm saying? All the rest would have been my wins.
No, we've been playing practice against each other. You know, Chaos got a new guy, older dude. He can play. We was beating up on him, and he came and got me the other day when I wasn't concentrating. And then he came back and beat me by, and then I had to go baptize 21-0.
Okay, hey man, your phone ringing. Somebody giving you
That's
a call.
all, man. Just been over your game.
Oh, okay. Oh, you was sounding clear, and then next thing you know, you got faded into the wind. Now you gone. All right. Well, then we going on to my boy Op. He's no longer the Rookie of the Year. And what's going on with you, Op? What's happening?
Not much, man. You can hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound good.
Excellent.
Everybody sounds good, man. Shit, what's going on? Mixer got us going sounding like this. All right.
Hey, I just moved my laptop like 2 feet to the left. I guess that helped everything. But
yeah,
you guys been chilling this week, bro. Like Bleeding Edge came out, then they released Frostpunk on Game Pass a while ago. I've been playing that. Like I'm a big stickler for RTSs, especially survival ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been hooked to that for the past couple of days. But that between Bleeding Edge, I just been chilling over here.
Nice. All right. Like I said, Bloody come. PK might have been busy. Didn't hear anything from him today, so he could have been busy just taking care of business.
He's playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know exactly what he's playing. He's playing Monster Hunter. I mean, not Monster Hunter.
Yu-Gi-Oh came out with a new DLC.
Oh, well, I know Yu-Gi-Oh came out with a DLC, but what was the other game that came out from Nintendo? That's
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, yeah. So yeah, now that's why we ain't heard from him. We normally be hearing from PK heavy.
Young man playing Animal Crossing over 25 years old.
Hey,
Hey, man, I'm gonna have to let that pass because the ladies like some Animal Crossing, man.
Yeah, the ladies do like
There you
Animal
go.
Crossing,
Let the
but you know
ladies
what I'm saying.
play. I ain't even playing no Animal
But
Crossing.
hey, you know what I'm saying? My bro
Yeah,
is diehard Nintendo fan, so man, you know, hey, it is what it is. And anybody out here, just if you are concerned or anything like that, not concerned or so much, but if you were wondering, for instance, why I'm doing this on Mixer instead of YouTube, is for two reasons. One reason is because I got a strike against me, which was pretty crazy, which I've never had one since I've been on YouTube. So, but the fact of it was because of a stupid reason, and you know, and listen, and then the big main reason behind it, number two, is because I have more freedom. Like, uh, I was just telling them in the chat, like, look, man, there's a thing that you could pay for, um, you know, but you pay for every month and just have, you know, music, and you can play different types of music and things like that, and it's licensed and all that, and it's qualified for you to do it. And I'm like, look, man, I could just hop on Mixer, you know, play the music and the songs that I want to play, you know what I'm saying, for the intro, and then change up and then put GRG, upload it to YouTube for people who will, you know, watch the show later on, and then it's all good, you know what I'm saying? So there ain't no reason for me to really just pay that $20 a month. You know what I'm saying? What was it? I think it's like 15 to $20 a month. You know what I'm saying? For when I have in my collection, I have close to 4,000 albums. There's just no way in hell that I need to be doing that when I just want to do stuff like that. And if there's some things I want to show or anything like that, certain topics that we could discuss, we could do it here. And if it's something that is too controversial, then I could just take it out, chop it up, and just put it up and upload it into YouTube. You know what I'm saying? If you are, you know, a content creator that's under 1,000, it's one of those things where you can kind of get away with everything. You're under the radar. They will hit you with algorithms. So if you've noticed, if you've been playing music a certain way, or doing certain things, or being a certain way, and you ain't getting the traction like you think you should, then that's cool. But when you hit over 1,000, all bets are off, man. You have to follow the rules and the guidelines, which I have no problem with some of the guidelines, because, of course, here we don't get too far left about certain things. But it's like, damn, they're restricting you so much, and I'm like, all right, let's try this. Do the live show here. Have a little bit more freedom to get out and to express ourselves a little bit better, and then go from there. Thank you, Cog. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate those. It ain't the zappers, with the embers. Thank you. And anybody is like, it's the same thing. It's not a super chat, but if you look at the links in the description on here, and if you wanted to donate anything, there is a PayPal. Just hit that up, and it's the same thing. And then you can just let me know that you just gave something, and you can just get the chat popping that way. So what's going on with you, Henosis? Appreciate it for following. Appreciate anybody that's already following me right now, man. I'm trying to get this up and running as well. So I'm trying to grow my streaming Mixer thing anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, I see 100 is back. So and Livewire, he most likely will probably come in late. And like I said, Bloody will come in late. But anyway, let's get on to the topics. That was the reason why I got here. So let's get this show started. And let's start off first by talking about, let's see. There really wasn't that much to talk about this week, in the sense of just in a gaming news sense. It's been kind of quiet. But other than that, let's start off with GameStop. And GameStop themselves is just said that they're going to be closing 320 stores in 2020. So I'm going to go to you, Op, first, and get your thoughts about this. Now, is this giving the signal that GameStop is almost on their way out?
Yes and no. Like, then again, like,
Mm-hmm.
they are downsizing tremendously, but it's still got to find them at this point. Like, we all knew this was coming. But I think it's them. They're probably trying direction, and the best way to do that is just consolidate and maximize the resources they have right now at this point. So probably for them, the best thing to do is just to downsize their stores. Just be, instead of being like, I guess, being more abundant, they could be more specialized to think out better. Probably where new strategy going forward. But it's something bad, not necessarily, because this has happened in the past. We've been downsizing over the past couple of years right now, so this is nothing new. So yes, alarming, no, but I'm curious to see where they go in the future and how they will adapt to the more digital times we live in right now, so they can survive and keep going forward.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that a little bit. Now, I mean, you just think that, I mean, 320 stores. They closed like around 200 and something just a couple of, just what, in 2018, 2017, something like that. So, I mean, they are down now good
Yeah,
500 to 600 stores. So, I mean, so you're basically still having hope and thinking Reggie can get it in because this wasn't a Reggie move. This was the person that was in charge, the CEO, the person that's in charge of GameStop, and they
right.
made the decision. So, you think that Reggie still has an opportunity to try to save the ship, the sinking ship, before it completely turns into the Titanic?
Well, I don't think he'll save it per se, but I think he has some influence on where it'll go going forward. So I guess you can give him some input on how he thinks they should pivot and course correct at this point. But like, as far as like stopping them from like sinking, I don't know. There'd be like a mass exodus from like digital back over to physical to like really, really save them from the hole they're in right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Let me go to you, 100. What's your thoughts about this, man? I mean, you think GameStop is almost out of there, or do you think it's that they still, because if they're making this business move, that they still might have a little bit of life left?
Man, they got a little bit because they changing up their shops and the little stuff that you can go buy other than, the little, what you call it, the little things people be buying, gaming material and stuff like that. But man, I don't really give two flyings about them, man. You know what I'm saying? The evil, Reggie ain't finna stop nothing. Reggie just collecting the check.
So you don't think
He
Reggie
just sit
gonna
on,
you don't think Reggie gonna
Reggie
really put
ain't
in
got
the
no
effort?
power. He gonna sit on the chair. He just sit on the board. He ain't change. They ain't finna change nothing. They just gonna, because think about it, the world is changing. Just like remember we had all these music shops and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, music shops that's still open because people start getting into
Hmm.
digital music. They start Apple messed the game up, and people start getting subscription services and stuff like that. And you got this full catalog full of all this music. That's gonna be with games, which with games are digital. You got a full catalog, you
Okay.
know. And GameStop actually sells digital games. People don't know.
Yeah.
I went there to
Yeah.
Boston. I went there to try to buy my son's a couple of years ago some shark card money for what you call it for raggedy
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto that be taking my pockets every week.
Still taking
Um,
people's pockets.
Man, they making money. And so I go in there and dude was like, you want to pre-order this game? I said, oh dog, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I go all digital. I got two 5 terabyte hard drives. I'm going all digital. It's easy, it's simple. I can click on the game. He said, you can buy it from us digital. I'd rather give Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo money digitally before I give it to y'all.
Mm.
And
Okay.
people say that's
Cold
a shame.
blooded. He said it to their
That's
faces like that.
that's cold blooded. But anyway, let me read what my boy Thomas said. He said stopping by to support the GRG brothers. You know what I'm saying? Hope all the guys are safe. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We hope you are safe as well, man. Keep washing them hands and your ass. So no doubt about it. All right. Anything else you want to finish up with 100?
Nah, man, we good, man.
All right. Okay, Slick. What about you, man?
Yeah, man, I agree with Op at 50-50 with what 100 had to say there with Reggie. I really don't. So anyway, yeah, with that whole situation last week, with this whole T-virus situation, they were doing pretty good business out there. Folks is playing games and stuff because they gotta be home and stuff, so they were making some good money. But then they went and got greedy, and the whole internet got to find out. And that screwed that up. Now they had to shut down. But I really don't think that had anything to do with the fact that they closed down 300 shops. I think that was going to happen anyway. That was all part of the plan. And I personally believe Reggie definitely had some influence on that. I don't think that was his idea per se, but he was a part of that decision-making process, and he probably gave the thumbs up for that to happen. It's going to have to happen. Now, 100 here is saying that he's been there and he's seen some changes. I ain't been to GameStop since the day I bought my PS4. So that's been a long time. I bought it from
Woo!
GameStop.
Yeah, that's
Like I
been a
said,
minute.
I walked in one day, 3 days, not 3 days, 3 months after the release system, and I just picked one up. It was just there. So I got one. That was the last time I was up in there. No, actually, I'm sorry. I bought the PSVR from there. So that was the last time. But anyway, so I think yeah, I agree with Op. They're trying to make some moves and shutting down a bunch of, their stores was just a part of that plan. It was going to happen anyway. But one thing I will say about Reggie is he was at Nintendo during the silent days of the Wii when it was making all this money, and the opposite situation with the Wii U.
Absolutely.
And he was there at the beginning with the Switch making this money too. Right. So he knows both ends of the equation, and when you got to tighten your belt and do certain things, he was a part of that during the Wii U era in particular. So I think he's got that experience there that goes in. And in fact, wasn't he around with Nintendo back in the GameCube era as well?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Reggie's been there for a very long time. Yeah, he's experienced pretty much everything. So matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and look it up.
Yeah, he's been there for good days and bad days. So that experience, will go real good to GameStop. This is why I think he definitely was a part of that decision-making process there to shut down these shops. But history is still to be written on GameStop and what's going to happen with them in the future. So can't call that.
Right. No doubt about it. And I see right now, our boy with the Satan rings, Bloody Knuckles, is in the house. What's up with you, Bloody?
Hey, what's going on, everyone, man? Me, I was like, had to take care of some business, had to be the businessman that I'm going to be, but it's good to be back. Kind of good to get the show on, man. Trying to grinding, making my dues, being here when I can.
Nice, no doubt. I believe Reggie started in 2004.
Okay, so just before
he said he made his appearance in Nintendo's E3 in 2004. I'm still reading on the stuff.
So he could have been in talks and working with Nintendo right after or right before the launch of the GameCube, probably just a few years after the launch of the N64.
Right. Yeah,
sounds about right.
Yeah. So yeah, he could have been there for a really long time. So who knows? All right. So, Bloody, what's your thoughts about this? I don't know how much you heard, but did you what do you think about the whole situation with GameStop? And do you think they're closing 320 stores? Do you think that there's still a little bit of life left for GameStop to continue, or do you think, kind of like our boy Pred, Don, quite a few people thinking this is the beginning of the end for them? Where are you at on this? Do you think they got a little life?
No, to be honest, I'm kind of with them. Is that as much of all of us, right? As much as all of us have history when it comes to GameStop, some of us may have worked for GameStop back in the day, or some of us, may have, obviously a lot of us shop there because, that's where you got all the physicals and all the collector's editions and stuff like that, right? Well, I think that GameStop just took way too long to really keep up with the times. I was like, don't get me wrong. I have full faith that Reggie's going to do something to try and help turn around that company. But is it one of those things? Is it a little too late? You got to think of how much how it's not even just the fact of the store and the fact of the culture that they cultivate right there. That's taken so long to really make any changes. The other biggest aspect is the fact of, now with the fact that digital is on the rise, a lot of people didn't think that digital was going to take over, especially with how big Microsoft made digital out to be in 2013. The only time that was really digital a lot was on Steam and PC, but there was still a lot of love for PC physicals, but it's been transitioning away from that for quite some time. And over the past, decade, we've seen that digital is now the real way to go, and how many sales and things are able to do that. People are buying full games for like $3-4. What's the point of them wanting to get it for $3 if it's on sale or whatever at GameStop and then turn it back for 20 cents? No one, honestly, when you buy a brand new game and you're just like, I wonder how much I can get for this game, they have all these physical discs. When you look up the return price and you're like, oh, it's 50 cents, it's not even worth the gas to drive over there. How many of us have had that thought process? Like, realistically, no one's going to care about that. So they've had to transition towards being a physical merchandise shop. And the aspect about that is you can do all that kind of shopping through Amazon with collectibles and stuff like that, or just have it mailed directly to you. So most of those people really don't care anymore. So it has to make a change. But honestly, at this point, it feels so late in its cycle and wanting to change its ways, especially with its toxic work culture, with how the executives and the kind of policies that they have in place and the pressure that they put on their workers, that a lot of the people I know who used to run stores, who are managers and district managers, really don't care about it there because they got to be super hard on all the newbies, and it gets real bad. And, you know, I've worked out there, and I've seen how it can be firsthand. It's one of those things that what can they honestly do that would make GameStop stay relevant in this era? I was like, yeah, we've seen the talks and the pictures of them turning it into like a kind of like a gaming lounge. I was like, but the thing is, those aren't always necessarily super popular here in the US. Now, don't get me wrong, PC cafes and stuff like that are big in Asia. Mm-hmm. You have those, and you have, what are they called? PC bangs, I think, or PC bongs, I think is how you pronounce it.
PC bangs? I'm like, what kind of places are you going to?
That's what they're called.
PC bong?
No. I thought you said PC bangs. That's why I was kind of like.
They're equally weird to me right now. Somebody needs to explain some stuff here.
But basically, it's where people go, where they have PC set up for you to rent, or you can go and bring your PC and just stay there. I was like, it's real popular in Japan at a lot of cafes that you can do that, and you can rent like cubicles to have your own privacy, and they're real big in Korea. I believe there's also some
like a LAN party
China.
That's 24/7. You just bring your PC.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So unless they do something like that, there's really no way for it to really exist. And even if they did something like that, it's not always guaranteed to be popular. The only thing that's really popular that's any sort of gathering like that is comic book shops and card shops, because they have those kind of aspects to attract people who want to read comics, who want to buy cards, who want to play tabletop RPGs. Those exist for that subculture, but I don't think there's going to be a real way to fit gaming with how it is nowadays, unless they just basically, hey, look, here, you can play any game that we basically have in stock nowadays that's used, and basically just be an open, like a modern day arcade.
Pretty much.
That would be the only way it would be able to even be able to exist nowadays. And
you know what the situation reminds me of?
Well, hold on. Hold that thought. I gotta read a couple of things. Okay, so first off, Yobi, we're gonna have to record you doing this and put this on everything that I do, because this is great. But I'm gonna read this, right? Okay. You know what I'm saying? AKL, L stands for legendary, aka the Don's Pappy, aka the greatest human that ever lived, aka giving them suckers the business, aka Phil Spencer's secret advisor, BKA the GOAT. Hashtag suckers. Boy, thank you so much, Yobi. You are a damn fool for that. I love it. And that just makes 100. I know right now just loves every second of me saying that. And then our boy Henosis, man, as I made I see my boy Jazzy Noop is in here. I made him a moderator, made my boy Henosis a moderator. He says, great to hear the guys. Best wishes during these crazy times. No doubt about it. And then we see you, Shin Weapon X28. Appreciate those zappers, as I call them. I see X by 448, and I see Don up in the building, sitting here giving those zappers. Thank you so much. And Jazzy up here, he says, much respect, GRG. Keep on going strong, no doubt about it. We will definitely do that. Thank you for the embers. All right, sorry, Slayer, but go ahead, man. I said Slayer, Slick. Go ahead. Well, you are Slick Slayer. Yeah, Slayer.
Whichever works.
Slick.
Anyway, let's just make this quick point real quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that this whole situation is very reminiscent of another company who wasn't, on the digital wave when they should have been. I should have seen it come in long before it happened and hit them. Blockbuster,
Mm-hmm.
And I think, the same situation happened with Blockbuster to Netflix. Netflix ate their lunch, and Blockbuster had been on the outs for a little while there with their practices and stuff. People were getting fed up with them, just like they're getting fed up with GameStop. And Amazon and the game consoles in and of themselves with their own game stores eating their lunch. And if they want to survive, they got to stop being so heartless. And last week was just another reminder. They don't give no about anybody but their pockets. And I know it's American as business for you, but you're making it real ridiculous, and everybody heard it. Everybody heard that conference call of how heartless they could really be about this, getting their employees, sick, their customers potentially sick with this T virus, just make a couple of bucks. And if that's their mindset, not even Reggie could save them. They better look out.
No doubt. Well, I mean, Reggie's going to still be winning regardless, because he's going to get a check. So, I mean, it's like, it was kind of like of a deal. It was just like put right there in his face, and he was like, it's if I keep GameStop going and thriving, then it's a win for me. And that's just gonna make my legend even higher. And if it closed down, it really don't matter because people ain't gonna look at me as I'm the one that failed because they're already looking at GameStop as going down in flames as it is. Like Fred said, at one time their stock was at like $60. Now it's like $3 and some change. Reggie is in a really sweet spot. He doesn't have any type of pressure put on him. So I think he's in a good place. I think he's all right. So I don't know. Anybody else want to touch on this before we move on to the next topic?
If Reggie's able to turn this around, I was about to say he gonna make some big money. And if you have trust in what Reggie's done in the past, I was like, now's the time to buy stock in GameStop. It ain't gonna hurt your wallet. I was like, and guess what? If he turn it around and make it come back, guess what? You're gonna be rich. Gotta believe in hashtag Reggie, just like we believe in hashtag Phil.
Yeah, his legend only grows off of that anyway, as well as the size of his wallet. So
exactly,
bank account, whatever.
Right. All right, so let's get on to the next topic. And this is right here. Okay, so European studio boss Michael Denny leaves Sony after 25 years. Okay, he's got a new job. He's going to the Lego franchise developer TT Games, and so this guy. He's been with them for 25 years. He oversaw studios like Guerrilla Games, Media Molecule, the London studios. You know what I'm saying? He was the vice president of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Worldwide Studios. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was just saying Worldwide Studios in Europe. He also oversaw external development working with exclusive third-party titles. So, like for instance, like Quantum Dream, those games that came out, he was the ones that overseen those. He was the one that gave the go and said, "Hey, let's go ahead and fund that." So the question I'm going to go straight to 100 on this one. Let's see if you're there. I see that your mic is off, but let's see if you're still there. You there, 100? All right.
Yo.
Okay. All right. So the question I got, man, is, listen, we've been talking about people departing away from Sony for about almost a year now.
Year and a half.
Oh yeah, about a year and a half, and it seems like it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's all right. These devs leave all the time. We understand that, but now we got people that's been a part of Sony for decades. And this guy's been there for almost 30 years. He decides to step away and go to something else. So it's not like he was tired or he wanted to that he was just wanting to whatever. I mean, PlayStation 4 is big as the PlayStation 2 in a lot of regards, if not bigger in some cases. And all of these executives and people like Yoshida get demoted, and now this guy steps away. Isn't it time to start saying, look, the Sony that the PlayStation that a lot of people knew and loved is going to definitely change? What do you think about this? Is this a red flag?
Man, people don't understand. Sony have been restructuring. I've been saying this. Jack Ryan, Jim Ryan, whatever you want to call him, whatever his name is, he put a coup. He got Leighton out. Only person that's probably safe is Sony, because Sony is, you know what I'm saying? But everybody else, look, he took out, when somebody American take out a Japanese boss like that? You know what I'm saying? You put a Yoshida there.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh.
They got me.
Bro, got the West Coast.
That West Coast. You better start walking to that store, bro.
Oh man,
you all right?
No, but
you all right?
That's called the liquor going down the wrong pipe.
Oh shit! We doing it live. Oh
yeah, but no,
shit!
but that's
like
T-Virus.
No, we doing this live.
A whole lot of stuff. Remember before Leighton even left,
all right,
he said that they wasn't gonna have that many AAA bangers, quote unquote. They call them bangers. All their games ain't bangers. They're gonna kind of steer away from the third party because what? They didn't buy their games like that. People thinking they bought their games. They didn't. They red boxed them motherfuckers. And people don't want to admit that, but it's cool. And he just called me a bot. Super X body in and whatever you want to call me. I'm just keeping you. I'm giving you the straight facts about Sony's restructuring, and they're trying to restructure where that Sony don't have to worry about PlayStation for money because they're making stuff that don't. I don't know why they making it. Why are you making an SD card? This is a super fast SD card. Nobody finna buy it. It's too high. Sony, this is what I have to give Sony since I've been in the world of tech and IT. Sony, even with the Sony Vaio, the Sony Vaio used to be so high and people used to go buy it, but it wasn't no better than a Dell or a HP laptop most of the time.
It just looks sexy. That was all.
Yeah, you paying for the joint. You paying how it look, like an Apple phone. You pay for the OS and you paying for the style of the phone. That's between Apple, difference between Apple and Android. So they gotta understand it's going shit finna change, and it's hard for them to understand change. But they thinking we're gonna get all these beautiful bangers, and I didn't watch a lot of YouTube channels lately because I've been bored, and I watched the PlayStation things, and some people are come correct, but it's a lot of damage controlling coming from them too because they got hope. But I'm gonna tell you, your hope might be fade away in a minute when y'all don't get all this stuff that you think you're gonna get because Sony is being cocky, is being a little cocky, or is something going on. Sony promised something that he didn't promise, and they can't put it out. Is it the cooling system? You know, is it how to do fake this and fake that? Because Sony is the person that promised you HDR on the Slim. And what you got? He promised you 4K gaming, and what you got? 1440p. You don't own a game that runs 4K native in 60 frames per second, and I think that's a damn shame. But that's your money, and I'm gonna tell you how to spend your money. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got to say. What you know, it's crazy. He gone.
Well, no, I mean, if you got more to say, just say it. I mean, you look like you're trying to hold yourself back. Don't hold back.
This is the first dude that I saw that left. Like you, I think Cerny's on the. I think Leighton is on the gag order. He can't say shit. I think he got.
I think you're right too because there's some things that he looked like he wants to say, and then he just it's just like, hey, yeah. He just put his hands up.
And I think he got hit with Konami when Konami hit old boy that did Metal Gear.
Oh yeah, Kojima.
So I think he's on gag order, and he ain't gonna say that. And I don't think he's gonna say something because they probably say gonna pay your salary for the next 3 years, and that's some good money. You know, look at all these guys have left from Sony. Nobody's talking about that, and a lot of them went over to the enemy of the state. They came over to Microsoft, and I don't want to hear Xbox lost some people. Yeah, we lost. Guy from a coalition that helped make Gears of War. What'd he go do?
Rod Ferguson.
What Rob go do? Get to go do what he want to do.
Yeah, he went to Epic, didn't he?
No.
What's called? They go do something.
No, he came from Epic. He came from Epic. Yeah, he
came from Epic. Yeah, he was the director at Epic with Cliff, who was working on Gears. I was like, he had as much say so as Cliff, but Cliff was the big face back in the day, but really Rod was right there alongside him.
Yeah, that's why Microsoft, when they wanted to do Gears, they went to go grab Rob. But then Rob said, you know what? I think this franchise is in good hands. You see, they say nice things when they leave. You know, I don't know about the Sony. They get gagged order. I guess they like, man, that is. Remember,
well, I mean, look, when somebody did say something negative, then everybody went after him, and then he backtracked, which was that crunch thing. The guy that left the Sony studio that went over to that went to Naughty Dog and went to the Initiative. Yeah, so and he started talking about the crunch thing. He was taking jabs, and then that heat started going on his ass from just not only from PlayStation fans, but from also from the media and all of that. So it just turned into a big mess. So but he kind of had put himself on a gag. So yeah, it's kind of been like, nobody's really talking, and I don't know. Go ahead, 100. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like I say, man, it's business, and like I said, you got when they overspend and they got them third-party handouts and all that stuff costs. So I don't think you're gonna see all these third-party bangers like that unless it's from back east. But I think I think when they got Insomniac, that was that hit some money. I think they overspent. But we don't know that if Microsoft was in the game. We don't know if EA was in the game. Ubisoft was in the game. And when they heard it, what you do? You got to overspend. That's just like in sports. You want that superstar, you might got to overspend.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. That's for damn sure. Thank you so much, Alex, for following. I appreciate it. Thank you. One thing I do have to do, because normally people will be hearing and seeing the prompts. You see my blade, you'll be hearing little noises and everything, but I'm doing this off of my I have the podcast on another OBS, so I'm gonna have to implement those little things on there while when I'm streaming and gaming. I'm up to with Streamlabs, so more work in progress. K-Mega is trying to get tech savvy in the year 2020. I'm trying to work it. So far, so good. It's not like the start of GRG. I tell you that, which was the absolute disaster. But we'll go ahead.
I can help you with that on the side.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it was like that. You or Don, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so yeah, I totally agree with you, 100. I really do. I mean, I can't. I think this is a red flag. I think this is showing that things are changing, and the new person in charge is want things to go in their own direction. What's your thoughts about this, Op? Are you believing what 100 is saying, or do you have a different perspective?
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a red flag, because people have been leaving. Yes, there's been an exodus over the past couple of years from Sony. But from my perspective, I've really been expecting more people to leave at this point. I look at him the same way as I look at with Ron Ferguson. He's been there for
But why
decades.
would they leave, though, with the success of the PlayStation 4?
People want to. People get tired of it. Same thing with Ron Ferguson. He was on Gears for almost his entire career, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And he's want to do something else. And he said the next game he wants to do is Diablo. So that's what he's doing right now. So I think this one is not necessarily a red flag.
Blizzard. That's who it was, right?
Yeah, it's Blizzard. So it's not necessarily a red flag in my eyes that he left, but it's more so that he just wanted to find something else that he wanted to do. And I thought it was strange that he went to the publisher and developer that made the Lego games. I wasn't really expecting that, but from my perspective, I think they made more than just those games as well. But he's doing what he wanted to do, so can knock him for that. But I don't know. It's really wrong to say it's not a big deal because he's a quote unquote no name, just because none of us knew of him before. Mm-hmm. That'd be wrong to say at that point, but. I don't know. I don't think it's pause for an alarm just yet. But this whole exodus that's going over Sony, that has definitely been alarming. Even with the role of the PS5 at this point, we all know the PS5 it wasn't a reveal necessarily. It was more so for developers, like Don said. But at the same time, they've been starving, piecemealing their fans get news about PS5 for over a year, almost a year at this point. And they marketed it as reveal PS5, and what it got was abysmal at that point, because you got some boring old cat man, Mark Cerny, he gave his little lecture about the specs of this SSD. So, I don't know. It's been looking spooky for a good while, but I don't think this particular thing is alarming.
Okay, all right. Okay, what about you, Bloody? Cause for concern, or this is just business as usual?
No. This is beyond cause for concern, because we've talked about this in the past, and you have another person who is in an executive level position. An executive position. You look at what he did, right? He was the vice president of Sony Interactive Entertainment for all of Europe. He oversaw a giant subsection of their worldwide marketing as well as their foreign studios for Sony Interactive directly. This is their first party. Remember, SIE is their first party group, just like everything under now Xbox Game Studios, right? Everything under Xbox Game Studios. Mm-hmm. They have local here in the US, and then they have their foreign studios. And even though all of those are overseen by Matt Booty, who's the head of Xbox Game Studios, he still reaches out to the heads of each studio. But guess what? There's still someone else that he has who oversees all the ones in Europe as well as he oversees everything mainly here in the U.S. and things like that. Just like they now have someone who oversees, who's helping there with their the team that they set up to work with, setting up deals over there in Japan and Asia, right? You don't see anyone in that kind of position walking away. As many within a year and a half. You know, the last executive that we had leave from Xbox and Microsoft was Mike Ibarra.
I was going to say Mike Ibarra, yeah.
Yeah. When Ibarra left, he was the only one who was a head executive who has left in a long while. And you know what his thing was? Is that he was the vice president of Xbox, but he also was over the entire, or he worked with Chris Charla to oversee the Idea at Xbox project. Chris Charla, or IoCat on Twitter, he runs that. But guess what? Mike Ibarra was working with that as well as backwards compatibility while being the VP of Xbox underneath Phil. After basically everything got set up, after they weren't doing backwards compatibility because they were focusing on next gen, right? Mm-hmm. After they were, Chris Charla basically has everything set to go with everything going on now for the Idea at Xbox. He has a great team. They're bringing in great developers, and that program is completely set that they don't need anyone else. What was Mike Ibarra doing? He didn't really wasn't doing much besides, you know, being just a face and streaming as much as he could and supporting all the charities that Microsoft does. But the thing about it, too, is that Mike was a little bit out there. I was like, he's a very heavy, dedicated PC person, and we've all seen kind of his talks on things, and he was the only person who kind of left, right? He did leave. I'll say he left on some good terms, right? Everyone was happy about, you know, congratulating when he left for Blizzard and Activision, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, he was the one person who kind of had anything negative to say, but that's because of the fact that he's always been kind of a little out there. Like, we've met Mike, and he's a great guy. We know that. But the way that he would talk sometimes, it was always questionable when the way that he would talk to certain people about certain things and things like that. He's the only one who I would ever has said has left on bad terms when it comes to being from Xbox. Everyone else, you see an outpouring from other devs and other studios and every executive being like, well, we're sad that this person's leaving. We're hoping nothing but the best. And even when other industry vets, even when some of the people from Microsoft Studios have retired, right? There are people from Sony camps, right? From their studios as developers and heads, and even from Nintendo who want to reach out and wish them well. You don't see any of them saying goodbye sympathies when they're leaving Sony, but everyone else is wishing them well wishes. You don't always see a lot of Sony devs giving them a lot of love, except for a few. You know, you look at who is it? The director for God of War. Can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Corey?
Yeah, Corey Barlog. Mm-hmm. I was like, Corey has always been very supportive of everyone in the industry. But there's a lot of rumors or reports that he's not living down there in South California anymore. He's not in SoCal.
Oh, shit. Oh.
He's in Seattle. Just saying. Up there in Washington. But we're not going to talk about that. But the fact of how much we've seen of the changeover rate for the heads of Sony, this isn't a good look at all. This is not anywhere, shape, or form of being okay.
Yeah.
This is a very bad sign, especially when you see like how people just feel like, oh no, Jim Ryan taking over me and the new head. I don't like the direction of PlayStation. It's like, look, they were going to have to make a change to keep up with everyone else. This is exactly what we've been saying. Phil took the reins and did that transition very properly, setting it up over time, and everyone was with it. But guess what? The way that he's coming in, a lot of the old guard aren't exactly happy anymore with a lot of things, and he's having to come and clean up the mess after everything that happened. You know, when Sean Layden left, you know, I definitely agree with 100 that he may be on gag order. I mean, he's very just like, hey, guys, don't worry. He's like, if they say that things are good, they're good. But you see how he's very talkative on a lot of Xbox and Nintendo news, always being excited for all the things that they're doing.
Anytime he takes people will think that he's taking a shot at Xbox, and maybe he might be it sometimes, but other times he's talking positive about it. I mean, you can tell he doesn't have a gag on him whatsoever. He's, you know what I'm saying? Mike says what he wants to say, and then that's it. It's not the same on the other end.
Sean Layden is good friends with Phil.
Oh yeah, well
Yeah, exactly.
they all know each other. They're all cool. I mean, like people that get all caught up into the console war bullshit, and they actually think that oh yeah, they all got hate because there's people that actually got hate, for whichever console or whatever. It's not even the case because these people have worked together. There's other people that's work in different departments. It's just like with Matt Booty. Matt Booty had to deal with everybody from the old PlayStation era because he worked at Midway. So I mean that's one of the things. Like it's crazy to me that these people had a start, and now they get to a higher position, and then of course if they decide that they want to leave, but the exodus of how these people are leaving, it just I don't know. I
It
agree with
doesn't
you,
look
Bloody.
good.
It doesn't look
It's
good.
not.
It doesn't look good.
Because,
Let me read a couple of things from in here, man. Uh,
yeah.
sorry, I got to go back up here. King James, thank you for the for the embers. Appreciate it. He says, "What's good, GRG?" The driver, Super G, man. Appreciate it, man. He said, "What's up, fam?" Man, let's go down here. You know what I'm saying? Our boy Jazzy Noop. He's over here giving a little love. And then, of course, our boy Henosis. He says, "Love seeing the inactivity here, the interactivity in here on Mixer. Keep up the great work, dudes. No doubt, man. I'm really pleased. I was only thinking that we were gonna have maybe like 3 or 4, 5, 6 people watching because, and then I get hit up crazy tomorrow morning like, hey, what happened with GRG? So I mean, I'm happy for the people that's here right now. And the people, if you're new, go ahead and follow and then check out everybody that's a member of the crew. We'll definitely do our sign outs at the end of the show and all of that. But go ahead, Bloody. I'm sorry. Just wanted to read that.
No. You're right. But the thing about it comes to, right, is that Sean leaves a lot of shoes to fill. But the fact is that he was never about the console wars stuff, and he was probably a good driving force. But it's just a fact of he knows the truth. Hey, look, they're making changes. He didn't want to be a part of it because the fact that when you look at the way that they're leaving, but they're all going to other companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all keeping this stuff going. What the hell is going on at Sony when some of these from these devs and stuff like that who leave are from Microsoft, right? And Xbox. We've talked about this in the past. Is that hey, these guys have hit the peak, and most of them are not leaving. Aaron Greenberg, head of marketing, all marketing, right? He has his people who work under specific marketing aspects, but he's the head of all marketing. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon. He's put too much work into that. I was like, you kind of look at where Mike Ibarra was. He's stagnated. A lot of them are stagnating. I was like, so they go to a place where they can get in a similar position or somewhere where they can move up. But some of these are just like real big name devs who are going and either starting brand new studios away from them or going to work at other studios for other major publishers.
Right.
That's not good.
It is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I see Livewire, the AKA the Dolphin King, is in the house. I know you've listened to Bloody give his extensive thoughts on it. So what do you think, Live? I mean, does this is this telling for a person that's been with PlayStation for 25 years to just leave and go to the makers of the people who develop Lego?
Sometimes people just need new challenges. That's the way I look at it. I don't.
You
think
sound
it's
way away from your mic, bro.
my fault. Is
Yeah.
that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Sometimes people just need new challenges. I mean, I know. Uh, I'll look at it this way. My mom worked at the same job for like 30 years and then retired, right?
Hmm.
Bro, that's not me, dog. I ain't working at nowhere longer than 10
Why?
because I got to do something else, bro. This is me. I can't be stagnant like that. I mean, and it depends on the person and what you're doing. Like when you have an artistic career, you're always looking for some artistic challenge, a change up, something different. So, what if you're not receiving it from in the position that you're at, you're gonna want to change, and you also got to look into the fact that a lot of the older guard of like our parents and whatnot, if they didn't have a government job, they had some kind of union that they were a part of,
Hmm.
something like that, where you just sit there and basically collect a check until you retire. You know, that's not necessarily the thing anymore because Because the field of video games, bro, they kick you out when you get a certain age. I mean, because one, you're too expensive. You might have all the skill in the world, but if they can get somebody to do your same job for 40,000 cheaper, oh, they best believe they'll do it. Yeah, all right, the quality of the work ain't the same. Fair enough. But as long as we get enough people around, and we can basically, instead of paying that one guy 200, you can get 4 guys and fill in for that. You pay them all around like 50. Shoot, you don't think they won't do it? Hell yeah, they will. They basically treating these cats like they get one guy who plays LeBron James position and tells everybody else what to do and try to win the championship that way. That's basically that's the way I see how a lot of the change goes. And sometimes people, so you either got people that are there and they get tired and they want to leave. You got people there looking for a new challenge. But not everybody who gets one of these jobs is just looking there to be like, I'm gonna work for EA for the next 40 years. Like, it just don't work that, especially in this day and age. Oh, they be talking about cats be changing their jobs like every 5 years. So I'm just saying it's different, you know.
Okay.
So whether or not you choose to leave or they kick you out, a lot of times those type of jobs, unless you become the employer, and that's usually when they get a position where they're like, all right, I'm gonna work here for a considerable amount of time, is when you don't have to worry about getting fired because you're the one who makes those decisions. That's why you see a lot of those devs. You be like, well, why did you leave such and such? Become, start your own company. They get tired of running around trying to guess whether or not, you know, they gonna get laid off because whoever did what didn't do the paperwork right, or I mean, because you gotta understand, like a lot of these little indie companies that popped up. Remember all them devs that we lost at the beginning of the generation, like the end of last generation, coming into the next to this current generation.
Hmm.
A lot of people didn't have their shit together, and a lot of developers went and fell by the wayside. So you're gonna have a lot of people that you're not sucked up into like some big company. They're gonna try to do this shit on their own, and they aiming to build their own, big game or artistic, you know, journey or Ori type game. So it varies. It doesn't necessarily mean there's trouble with paradise. I mean, people, shit change.
Okay.
Is what it is.
All right. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I get it. I get it. I get it. I mean, that's a different perspective of it. I actually like it. What's going on? With you, 1413, man, appreciate it. I see Sir X Man is in the building. I was just saying what's up to him. He was saying the sound quality was Flint Dog. What's happening with you, man? Thank you guys for coming and stopping in and hitting those zappers. Cognito. I mean Core. Why did I say Cognito? Core.
Whoa, you
What's
got
that?
someone else on your mind, bro?
Yeah,
Come on. You see a C and you get immediately about Cognito.
Stop it, my boy Core. What's going on, man? I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh no, even
I
Sir Expert got it right. Come on
Yeah,
now.
I know, I know. Man, like I said, Core. Listen, I said
You
it
gotta
wrong.
correct yourself. You're like, not Cognito, Core. Core's like, why I said Cognito? I wonder why you said
I
Cognito,
don't know.
bro.
Maybe Incognito was saying something about me. Who knows? I mean, hopefully it was
Or
good
maybe it's
something.
that light skin love. That's why.
It could be. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of
Okay.
lot of light skinned brothers on this. Well, we still don't know what op is though. You know what I'm saying? So we still got to figure out what nationality op is. But other than that,
I
but other than
wasn't gonna address that shit.
anyway, so Slayer, what's going on, man? What is your thoughts about this, man?
Yeah. Before I answer, hey, Bloody, a real quick question, man. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
27.
27. So this dude, who I've never heard before, has been at that position for almost as long as you have been alive, sir. Right? For 25 years, right?
Yep.
I've
Yeah.
never heard his name, but whatever. He's over there at Sony Europe. I don't live in Europe, so his decisions really don't affect me that much. Okay.
Right.
But if it wasn't within this past year and a half, like we said at the very beginning of this, that with all these departures from the company, it wouldn't look too strange that this guy is leaving. It's about to be a new generation. He's been there for a quarter century and all that. It would have been fine. It's kind of suspect that, with everybody else leaving, and they never get to say nice things or whatever, like 100 was saying earlier, it's always on some odd thing, they just leaving. And this guy, once again, we have this other person, whatever his name is, it doesn't even matter. It just, this doesn't look good. It doesn't even matter who he is. It just doesn't look good. The whole situation doesn't smell good, And when there's smoke, there's fire. Oh God, Sony must be burning. This is not a good look. It just isn't. It's that simple.
It is absolutely not a good look at all.
No.
You got to think of how. You got to think about it too, right? You mentioned that it's all a year and a half, and I don't want to drag this out. Is that basically every 2 months or every 3 months, there's another executive who is stepping down, as we saw with like Yoshida taking a demotion, or some other executive leaving. Why is it so consistent? Why is it almost every 2-3 months we're hearing about someone else? I remember that it was just back in December about the last one.
It's not even just the executives. The developers is leaving.
No. I know the developers have been leaving in droves. We've seen that a lot of them, and especially the big name developers, or not even necessarily the big names, but people who had good positions as leads on major projects and IPs over there at Sony that are leaving. But they're leaving like en masse. Like you're seeing like 4, 5, 6 of them leaving at a time.
Mass exodus, yeah.
Yeah, but you're seeing almost every 2 to 3 months, you're hearing about another high-end Sony executive leaving. We've seen about 6 to 7 over the past year and a half.
Exactly.
And a lot of them are people that we know.
Fine, I know nobody would have been like, he's been there for 25 years. Hey, it's fine. But with everything else happening at the same time, nah, something's up.
Exactly.
Yes. No. I mean, no, I don't know. It is suspect. I don't know. People in the chat, what you think? I listen. If this was Xbox, and it was Xbox at one particular time, I mean, we already saw that the wheels were damn near seem like to fall off on the Xbox side of things. I mean, you've seen what Xbox had to go through to get through the turnaround.
Well, it wasn't even just an.
It took damn near the whole generation, though. Well, I mean, they changed the whole. Microsoft had to change.
Microsoft thing, yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft had to change their CEO. So I mean, everything was in turmoil. So it's not like you can't say on one end, well, everything is all this and that. It's all gravy because we got those 6 bangers. You know what I'm saying? Those 6 bangers was already being worked on by people that were there. You know what I'm saying? From Andrew House on down. So that's just like when people say that Don Matrix should get credit for certain games like Quantum Break and Rise and Killer Instinct, which he should. But again, when you compare Phil Spencer to Ryan right now, what's his name? Jim Ryan?
Jim Ryan, yep.
Yeah. Who do you think right now at the start is doing a better job? Anybody want to answer
at the start?
Well, yeah.
At the start of when they took over?
Yeah, at the start of when they took over.
Phil.
Okay. Anybody else?
This isn't just like to say, oh no, Phil's better. No, you got to think of how bad of a position that Xbox was doing for him to work on it. I'll say this: in the past year and a half, Jim Ryan has been pushing a lot of the same things that Bill was talking about back in 2013 or back in 2014.
He see where the money is.
Yeah, he knows where it is.
Jim is a businessman where Phil is a gamer and a businessman.
Right.
That's a difference between both of them, too.
Right. So basically, Jim Ryan, for what you're saying, 100, is kind of like the Don Matrick of PlayStation because he's all the business.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I wouldn't say it's all about the
business. Don Matrick wasn't a gamer either, but he was one hell of a businessman. He knew how to market.
Well, apparently he didn't when you look at all the choices he made and the direction he took Xbox down. And remember, he came from EA. We know how heartless. Earlier we were talking about GameStop. I mentioned how heartless those guys were. Right. And EA, is you could speak of them and Comcast in that same breath. That same way. EA? Yeah, he came from EA. Don Matrick came from EA. See, it makes sense now. So no, I don't agree with that little aspect right there. He's a businessman and a cutthroat one who tried to get this TV money and all this other stuff and almost destroyed Xbox to do it. He took Xbox off their righteous, path of gaming and all those things that Xbox is supposed to be about and turn it into something else. And, as soon as they decided, Microsoft decided, oh, this is not the direction, this isn't working out. He was the first guy to get canned.
Right.
The first guy to get canned because it was all on him.
All right,
It wasn't just him, but there you go.
Okay, hold on. Let me answer Sir X-Man because he's slow to the party. I said this at the beginning of the show if you was there, and I also posted it last night that I was going to be putting the show. I was going to be putting the live show on Mixer instead of YouTube, and then I'll upload it into YouTube. I didn't add that. I said that part in the beginning of the show. But basically, long story short, is that I just want to have a little bit more creative freedom. I got hit with a copyright strike for the first time I've ever got hit with one, and so they limit you to doing things anyway. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and just do it here, and then I'll upload it for people later who's not here live for the show now, and just post it on YouTube later. Because I mean, you know what I'm saying? I want it's got to do with everything with my music, with everything else that I want to do, and if somebody wants to be a little bit not too raunchy live, but you know what I'm saying? But if they want to say a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about YouTube or somebody else, coming after me by saying, you know what I'm saying, because somebody said something in order for me to get hit with a strike or any crazy shit like that. So that's the reason why. I think this is just the better place for me to start doing it, and on top of that, just kind of build up on my mixer channel anyway. So I think it's good for everybody. You know what I'm saying at the end of the day. But anyway, that was my thing. So go ahead, Slayer. I'm sorry, Slayer.
Yeah, basically, I think I mostly wrapped it up there. So a lot of these folks over there at Microsoft, and at the end of the 360 era, that whole generation was like the longest generation since like the 2600. I was, in my mind, the only reason the PlayStation was even able to catch up and like basically tie, So, and Microsoft was out there, doing all types of stuff with the Kinect, and then deciding at the last minute take out the processor. And I think that was also Matrix's choice. I think that was his choice to do that, and that it hampered the Kinect, the 360 Kinect. Okay, so because at first that was a very popular device. In fact, I think it was the most successful add-on ever. And the golden rule generally is that add-ons don't do well. The Kinect broke that rule, like the 360 had been doing all generation. The 360, by the way, also was the one where its attach rate was so high. Usually when your attach rate is that high, your system sales are bad because, you can remember the Dreamcast was like that. Attach rate was high for a lot of their core games. That's why it's such a beloved system, 20 years on. And so the 360 had that, but the generation went on for so long. A lot of people left. A lot of people who built Xbox from the original to the 360 had left a couple of jokers. Don Matrick, the biggest joker of all, it made some choices and decisions and put Xbox in a path that just wasn't working out. So when the writing was on the wall, right after that E3 announcement, they knew to get rid of this guy. He was the first one to go. Like, what? That happened pretty quick, too, within a week or a month or something?
Yeah, he bounced out. He bounced out. He didn't even see the launch. Did he even get to see the launch of the Xbox One?
I want to say no. In fact, I think he was gone within a week of the E3 announcement or a month, maybe. It was pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't that far from when he made that point about look, if you wanted to what was the thing? If you wanted to play your games online or something like that without the DRM,
offline,
Yeah.
yeah,
You play offline. They have.
I'll play
you have to
offline.
buy
That's what it was. Then you can buy a 360. I was like, what?
Exactly.
When he said that, I'm like, I'm getting a PlayStation. I'm not even dealing with that because that pissed me off too.
Exactly.
I said, what?
I wasn't gonna get the Xbox One at launch.
No.
When I heard the whole DRM thing until the next day when they flip flopped on it and decided not to. And then if it wasn't for Lemon, I wouldn't have had one day one because I was already like, and I already missed out on the spot.
Well, for me, the only thing that made me get an Xbox One first was because of Killer Instinct, because you know how much I love fighters, and I was like, damn, this game was fire.
When they announced that too, and they were saying, hey, guess what? And they surprised everyone that was like, hey, any long-standing account after so long, we're getting free codes for the entire first season. Were you one of those people?
No.
For Killer Instinct?
No, shit, no. I think I got something like that, but I already bought because I bought like 4 games when I got the X1. So, and I bought the whole pack because when you bought it, you got this little I don't. It was like this little metal thing, metal magnet that you get when you buy KI. It was it was that, and then it was something else that you got if you know you had the day one controller, day one edition or whatever. But it was something that I can't remember exactly what it was because shit, I don't even know where it's at now. But it was that little thing, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But I already knew Killer Instinct because I looked because it was all about the matchup between what fighter was PlayStation going to offer, and they offered Injustice, and I'm like, shit, I already got Injustice. I already even bought all the DLC and all that. Why are they porting over Injustice? Like, why they don't have a new fighter or something? And then, like I said, that was my whole decision right there. But yeah, no, I was pissed off when I heard that myself. So you're probably right. I do not recall seeing Don Matrick anywhere during that launch. The DRM thing wasn't even a factor to me because I didn't even know what the hell that was. I heard it and I just seen, and I'm watching Angry Joe and I'm watching other YouTubers
Angry
at that
Joe,
time.
that's the dude.
Yeah, and I was listening to all those cats and I was kind of like, what the fuck is this DRM? Why are they tripping? And now after looking back, I'm kind of like, really? When you primarily play on PC, and I'm hearing from PC guys that there are DRMs through Steam and other places. So what the hell are they talking about? So that's when I started understanding that this YouTube shit was kind of like in a whole different, people just doing stuff for clicks. That was my first thing that I witnessed that caught me off guard because I believed everything that dude said. Everything.
Yeah. Ooh, man,
everything.
there's a lot of knowledge
I
was
very
DRM
ignorant,
thing.
very ignorant to when it came to YouTube. Very ignorant at that time because I was new to it.
Yeah, like I'm saying, there's a lot of knowledge I could drop on this DRM thing. We ain't going to get too deep into that right now.
Right.
But suffice to say that what Microsoft had with the 360 should have just been applied to the Xbox One, and it would have fixed everything to protect what they were trying to protect and have what they were trying to have and not hurt the gamer at all. Okay? So earlier on, Bloody was saying Steam around the time of the Xbox One launch in 2013, PC gamers was really moving on to Steam. Nah, by that point, PC gamers were mostly on Steam, balls deep. You look up my name on Steam, see how many.
What I was saying was that we saw all the things that they're trying to do with like DRM and the sharing that was already being enacted by PC at that time. Steam was on the rise back in 2005.
Right.
So when Valve was really starting making a lot of the games that they were at the time, because that was shortly after Half-Life 2, and then right before they did the Orange Box collection with Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and 2, and then of course right when they first launched
Portal.
Team Fortress 2 and all that stuff in Portal. I was like, that was at the height of when Valve was really starting to kick it and start really pushing.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the whole other thing. Like I say, I don't want to get into, because I can go real balls deep and talk about the big picture mode and how a lot of y'all talking about PC and don't really understand. And I'm not this PC elite. It's like I play on everything except for Switch. I don't have one yet. But, my overall point is that was the time when digital was just the future. So we were talking earlier about GameStop. And GameStop they were just like Blockbuster. They didn't see the writing on the wall, and they could have been a part. Okay. I know Amazon and the game consoles with their digital online stores didn't have to eat their lunch. They could have been part and parcel, but they didn't. And this whole DRM, the way Microsoft implemented it was just stupid. They could have had everything. They could have had their cake and eat it too, and not hurt the gamer and give the gamer everything they want, and everything could have worked out 100% for everybody involved, for Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, and us gamers. We would have got what we wanted, and they would have had what they wanted. And Don Matrick and these, and as soon as he said what he said about the 360, because the question was about if you're in this one guy. In fact, I think the guy who asked the question, he was in the Navy, he was a submariner. So
he was.
No internet.
He ain't
gonna get no internet.
And especially how ass internet was back then. Like, I mean, I was on DSL like back then. It wasn't hot at all. But anyway, all right, let's get on to our next topic before we get to our big topic. Okay, so let's talk about this Konami debunks these rumors that we've been hearing for a little while, which I have to, what I'm saying? I mean, shout out to my man, Hip Hop Gamer, man, what I'm saying? Really good dude, but, you swung and missed again, bro.
I
Oh, don't do that to the homie.
Well, no. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, he was the he
He's
came,
roasting a boy.
like I
Like
came in there and he when he first posted, I watched his video, his live stream video when he started talking about the backwards compatibility, and he said that it was going to be from 1 to 4. I mean 1 to 4. I was like, oh shit! Now that I posted it, like I was like, oh, now this is what I'm talking about. This is what I want PlayStation to do. So now so I'm getting excited. Like, well,
Someone doing something with these things, right?
Right. Like, yeah, I can get a chance the opportunity to jump in and play with, have a chance to play with maybe Toshinden or maybe some Old Bloody Roar. And even if I can't play those games, I can play just only really Sony type games that they had, like maybe a Twisted Metal, something like that. Maybe, what I'm saying, a Jet Moto,
Or
whatever.
Tension Z.
Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped. And so, but again,
Hey man.
yeah, it just popped. You know what I'm saying? So now we just found out that there's only a limited situation with that. They will get better over time. But they're just
hold on. We're talking about that. Okay.
Hold on. But they're just getting started. So basically, they're just getting started with the backwards compatibility. But this is my point. This is the other thing that was also leaked by him, and it started running like wildfire. We talked about it, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I asked you guys, was it true or not? And mostly everybody on the panel said no. And so I will go to Slayer because he said he wanted to talk about this first. So basically, the whole thing with Silent Hills, it didn't say anything about Castlevania or Metal Gear Solid, but they were adamant about Silent Hills isn't going anywhere. Konami said that themselves. So, Slick Slayer, give us your thoughts about this situation.
Yeah, so last week when you guys were talking about that, I joined the show a little late. So, I just got in when you guys were wrapping up that whole conversation. Didn't get to put my 2 cents in on it. And okay, real quick little history for myself. 1988, 8 years old in the 4th grade, I got my NES. It's packed in with Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, right? Didn't have nothing else to play for a long time. In that same year, Super Mario Brothers 2 comes out. It was the hot game to get. And my mom's like, all right, you're doing well in school, I'm going to buy you a game. So we go over to Consumers in Flatbush. If you're from Brooklyn around those days, you might know about that shop. It's gone now. But anyway, I went up in there. I want to get Mario 2. Sold out. All right, I got to pick something else. I've been reading X-Men at the time, and there was ads for this game where you would see all these weapons and equipment. That was Metal Gear, right? Metal Gear. So I've been playing Metal Gear from the beginning. I've played it all. Big fan of the series. You guys have your opinions about the series.
I'm right there with you.
Some parts I agree, some parts I don't, but that's not really the point I'm trying to make. I've been around that series in particular for a while. Castlevania 2 was a game my older brother gave to me. That was my 3rd game. So I had a stack of 3 cartridges. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm getting a little collection of games. And 2 of those games were Konami games. So when I heard this whole rumor, I started laughing because this sounds like some fanboy dream. Anybody who thought any of this was real, I don't know what's wrong with you, but these ponies, man, they want to, and man, they need something to believe in nowadays because things are not looking good. People are getting fired or leaving or whatever you want to say. Their hardware ain't looking too good. It's not that it's not looking too good, but it's not what they expected. And
I was going to correct you on that. I was like, the system's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, it will.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not what the ponies thought it was going to be. Where it was going to be the more powerful system and all these other things. And it's a whole to me that sounded like a fanboy dream. So no, but now as you clarified, they really clarified about Silent Hill and not Metal Gear. But what you guys also said about all of that situation about how, Kojima, he has to show improve, and he didn't show improve with Death Stranding. He just didn't. So are they going to put it in his hands? Does he even want it? I mean, the situation with Metal Gear 5, if you played that game, there comes a point where all of a sudden, if you know the history about the development of the game, and even if you didn't, as soon as you hit that point in the game where the missions, are beginning to repeat for no reason, the missions are literally repeating for no reason. and you didn't know the whole behind the scenes thing, you're still gonna realize something's up. Something weird is going on. But if you do know about the whole drama with him, then you're like, oh snap. So maybe he might want to, you know, make a deluxe version of the game where he could finally complete the game the way he wanted to do it. Right?
But before, stop right there for a second. Remember, he had all that, at least the story content and all that about what came after that part.
Right.
Because the fact that that was the end of chapter, what was it considered chapter 2 or act 2? And act 3 is for anyone who got the collector's edition. It was a DVD that had all the cutscenes for the story after that part that he was not allowed to put in the game because they wouldn't let him develop it any further. So that was going to fill in all that story aspect.
Right.
Just
So
to add on to that right there.
Yeah, that was that whole, because remember that not Frostbite engine, the Fox engine that he spent all that money and all these things. We're just repeating stuff you should already know. If you don't, Google it. It's well documented. But like Bloody said, chapter 3, Peace, there was a whole chapter missing. There's only like 2 chapters in the game, and there's a whole 3rd chapter that didn't happen. So maybe if the fanboy dream would be, if Sony bought the rights, then he could complete the game with his original vision and blah blah blah. But as K Mega said, it was clarified specifically about Silent Hills, and I still have PT on my drive, and I could see where that was going in with VR, if they want to make it a VR experience, or if they're not, or it'll be a both, where it's compatible with both. There's a whole way they could have went with that, but very clarified that that's not what's going on. Right. Maybe it's a movie deal, maybe it's nothing, but it doesn't look like it's anything, and this is just... It just goes to show. It sounded stupid last week. It sounded like a fanboy dream. I just want to point and laugh at anybody who's on the Sony side in particular, who's hoping for that. Because come on, man, just no, none of that sounded right at all. Because if it was true, it like there's other. Every time a rumor drops like this. That's this megaton, you start to see a surrounding things start happening, right. You see this person over here, because he was working with certain directors and actors and whatnot, back with PT when with Silent Hills, and both of them ended up being in Death Stranding instead. I forget their names, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so none of those surrounding elements came to play, so definitely this wasn't happening. This was never happening. Anybody who believed that, just know that was wishful thinking.
Okay,
we can just move on off of that.
All right, 100. What is your thoughts on this, man? I mean, is it something to where you think it's because we haven't heard anything about Castlevania, we haven't heard anything about the other games, but we, what I'm saying, but could you think that there's still an opportunity for those games to be picked up by Sony, or it's just all of this is wishful thinking?
Man, that shit is all BS. I told y'all this last week, which I didn't want to believe.
No, I thought it was 2 weeks ago. That's how long. I don't even know my time now since I've been sitting home so much. Yeah, the last week.
My man Jazzy knew. He told him, like you told him on GRG.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
no,
you
did.
I said this is a bunch of garbage. They don't have no reason. They don't have no other reason not to do it. I mean, they don't have no reason. They making money. So thing about it is Sony ain't got the cash wrapped to go just pull this stuff up. They just pay for a Insomniac. You think what you gonna play for some IPs?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point you made last week.
Big, expensive IPs as well. So
right. Metal Gear is expensive.
They might can leak something or have Konami do send a third party handout, but other than that, no. And Konami knows if I'm gonna make a game, I'm gonna make a third party, and it's kind of weird this rumor come up. How many damn Castlevania games has come on Xbox and all of a sudden?
Yeah, Castlevania is more of a Netflix series. It's more about the plot now. Back when you guys were talking about this last week about the plot element, that's more recent times. Yeah, in fact, it was you, Bloody, who quoted, who mentioned some talk on that. But really, with the Netflix series, which today just announced for season 4, that's the plot, that first started off on Castlevania 3. Back on the NES, where these characters you see in that anime really started. So, and then the PlayStation game. So it's been more plot heavy than from the very beginning. But that's really, maybe they'll do some some more anime or whatever stuff with Netflix. They seen the value in that. But in terms of games, no, because even the game that Kojima's name was attached to, he produced that was just basically it was developed by some other group, Mercury Games, something like that, and Kojima Productions. I think they just produced it, but they didn't even publish the game. I think that was still Konami or whatever. Long story short, like, no, every aspect, every way.
It was mainly his head of teams. It was his writer, his composer, and his head developers that were working on the engines that were showing the other studio how to basically do what he was wanting.
Yeah,
right.
Hold on, guys, y'all. 100 was. I don't think 100 was finished. So 100.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You just came in. I mean, you were saying, but you just kept ripping, going through, and then Bloody wanted to get in. I was like, 100 would have never got nothing to say. Finish what he would say. You go ahead and finish 100.
No, like I said, I agree on everybody's points. You know, it's you know, I thought it was cockamamie BS. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, especially these sites, I look at these sites. These sites ain't no better than my site. You know what I'm saying? I can make up something.
Yeah,
You know,
like I
so
said, R. Kelly. Yeah, I said on my videos at rkelly mixtape.com. You don't know, there's all these crazy ass websites out here. We have no idea.
Yeah, so and I don't know if these people are credible or stuff like that, and so it's you got to take. That's why I say I'm glad a lot of big, if they do talk about it, like certain people that I respect, they say take it with a grain of salt. That's how you got to take it. Take it with a grain of salt because it's too good to be true. And if it was gonna get done, it would have been done by now, I think. But nobody wanted to talk about that. You know, it's just weird. Like all of a sudden, Konami, I want to sell this off. Unless it's just like I say, it's a country, you know, bonding, or we just want to get off of it.
Right.
But who you got to make the game?
Well, Kojima will be making the game.
Kojima, I don't know. See, think about it. I don't think they selling nothing what Kojima got his name on. Nothing.
Right.
No, they got that's too many. That's too much bad. That's bad blood. No, they ain't doing that. I think, man, they'll sell their soul to Nintendo before they sell their soul to Kojima.
I would say not even just Nintendo. I think they would be willing to sell it to an American company before they
probably would do too. But I don't think it.
Yeah,
like,
it's just not a.
I don't think it would be.
Kojima
I think it could be licensed off. They want some type of credibility because that's their title. I mean, why would you?
No.
You want some type of credit? Like Microsoft ain't make they didn't make Microsoft Studios didn't make Gears of War Halo Wars or Halo Wars 2, but they getting some type of credit off of it, right?
Well, I mean, they own.
Well, it's their IP. They license.
Yeah,
Yes, they license.
IP.
That's
right,
what Konami don't want to do.
Yeah, and that's what Sick was saying is that they would make more if they were to license it as an exclusive with them, but they would never outright sell the IP because now, especially with the success of the anime, because that's what I mentioned before, is that it has so much more value now because of the success, and we've seen that how they've been bringing a lot more attention back to the old games with making Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1 and 2 backwards compatible, and now they're available in Game Pass, and you can play them on Xbox and other platforms. Why would they want to sell a massive moneymaker, especially with the success of a Netflix original anime adaptation? They're seeing so much traction for that show now and that series. Why would they want to give that up? They wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally agree.
Just one extra thing I just wanted to say about Silent Hill, like you say, they specifically clarified Silent Hill, and that was the one that would have made the most money out of the three IPs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because they can make a movie. Because they can make a movie. Because the last movie didn't do too well.
I think with Castlevania being have these up to par graphics, you got the animated series like you said. There's a lot of potential with Castlevania. Metal Gear, even though the name is very popular, I just don't know if Metal Gear has the same.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. Going back to Kojima, it would immediately bring back in because people did not buy Metal Gear Survive simply because Kojima was not a part of it, and that was at the height of the fuck Konami movement.
Right, I got that, but then nobody really. So after everybody, they gave it a 10. They gave it all the highest ratings and everything, but nobody talks about Metal Gear in a positive light anymore at all. No, who talks about Metal Gear? People gave it a 10. They gave it a perfect score. The reviewers gave it a perfect score, and the game is not even talked about. Nobody likes
I
the
think
game after that. Very few people I
I
talked to
Nobody
that
didn't
said
like
the
it
talk
no,
because they
they
found
like
out
it.
who your behind was at the end. That's why
Yeah,
nobody talked about it.
the issue with
It
with
it
Metal Gear
wasn't
was
what you
what.
thought you was. You thought you was gonna be that dude. I ain't gonna
Right,
say his name.
Yeah,
right.
don't
You
do that.
thought
But
you was gonna be. You is that dude, and everybody wants to say, "Oh, we finally can play with that dude." And you found out you ain't that dude. It was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. That's part of it. Is that the story did a lot of hey, look over here, look over
Here's
here.
part 2, 100. I don't know if you watching the stream, but this is our game right here, 100. Oh, now I said
What is that? I
But
can't. No, I ain't watching because
Oh,
it brings
okay.
it down.
Path of
but
Exiles 2 is on. It's going to be coming next year.
Oh yeah, no, you said that last week. I
Oh,
saw.
okay, okay, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But Mega, the other part about that is that would have made more sense just because of the fact that if it would go back to him and they would give him that budget
Well, no, this ain't
because
Path of
Mike.
Exiles 2. This is something else. My bad.
I'm just saying that
Look like
if Sony would have got that right
Mhm.
and would have been able to get that from Konami, right, they would be able to give that budget that Kojima would want, and that would be okay. But I agree with where Slick is saying is that after seeing what he did with PT, him having what should have been having the Silent Hill would have been great because we saw what he was willing to do, and
Oh yeah,
especially
no,
when you have
that's what he should be doing is making
and
horror
that
games.
and remember
That's what I'm
that's also
Yeah.
but remember that's also what I mentioned is that when all the bad press about everything that happened with Death Stranding and what he said in that interview after the game, he's just that now he wants to sit down and maybe work on that horror game that he was planning. I was like, if he had did that first instead of doing Death Stranding, he may have had a much better reception with everything post Konami with everything that's going on. But that him being able to have been able to get that one franchise I said was probably would have been the one thing that I would find the most plausible. But all the rest of them, no, was never going to happen. I was like, those other IPs were way too.
All right,
came out
all right. I
said no,
gotta
so.
go. I gotta go to other people on the panel. Okay. Op, what is your thoughts about this, man?
I mean, I'm not torn up about it. I knew it was a rumor. I knew it could have been true, it could have been not been true. So I'm not really torn up about it. But like, it's all well at this point. Like, it's in debunk. They're not getting them. It would have been a win for them. But like PK mentioned, like they probably would destroy those franchises if they got hold of them. But and like Bloody and Six Layer mentioned with Kojima at this point, like, do you really trust him with something else at this point? The Death Stranding was, and that's a game that he had complete control, freedom over at that point. Like, I wouldn't trust him with anything else at this point. So, oh well.
Well, remember, there's also that rumor now, or supposedly that Death Stranding was revamped a year and a half before it was supposed to launch after 5 years in development. So
I'm not surprised with this. This is Kojima.
This Kojima.
Yep.
There's always issues in development.
And the fact that his number 2 left the studio right after the game. So I mean, no telling what's going on that end as well. So I don't know. Livewire, what is your thoughts about all this? You know, give me the skinny.
Well, I'll say this. And whoever these insiders are, they suck. Bro, they just been wrong and wrong and more wrong this whole year. First it was PlayStation was 13 T-flops. Then it was there was some other thing that they were talking.
One that got debunked again was that they were going to get Remedy, and Remedy is now going to do it. Yeah, they're going to do a deal with Epic.
Epic.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still no talks about if Insomniac, and there was also the fact that Insomniac's supposed to be getting the Sunset Overdrive IP, and that they were going to be able to do whatever they want with it and make the sequel. But that's still owned by Microsoft. And then there was also the fact of everything going on with Kamiya too, over there with Platinum.
Right. So yeah, all that stuff. Go ahead, Live.
Yeah, but you know what, Kojima, I don't know. I guess it's been rough, man. Death Stranding wasn't it. I played it, I beat it. It's a 7. But people thought this was supposed to be game of the year. And touting it was a game changer, and oh, you know, everybody's supposed to love. You don't understand this art, and bro, guess what? I was talking to people yesterday on Twitter, man, talking all this Metacritic stuff. I'm like, dog, that shit don't matter. It comes down to, is the game fun? You over here talking about you don't like this and you don't like that. This is trash and that's trash. Why do people want to play that trash? Guess what? At the end of the day, is the game fun? If it's not, people won't play it. You know. And the crazy thing is, Death Stranding only got as many people to buy it and give it even a chance because Kojima's name was on it. If his name wasn't on that box, nobody would have picked that shit
Hell
up.
no.
No,
I don't.
no,
I don't
no.
want to.
Because no one knew what I think a lot of people also bought it, not just because of the fact that Kojima's name was on it, was because of the fact that it was more of a curiosity. It's like, what the hell is this game about?
Right.
Exactly.
no one
No one
knew.
knew what it was
I
about
don't
until
care
it
how
came
much
out.
the police talk but I only think that curiosity was even still there because of Kojima. Because
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
exactly. And that's what I'm saying, that they got it not just because of his name on it, but it was curiosity. Just like, oh, what the hell is he talking about in this game now?
yeah, but you can get 2 million people to buy it just off of the fact that his name's on the box, even if they don't know what the hell the game's about.
Not this time, apparently.
No.
Well, I don't know how many
Well,
it sold, but
didn't sell very well. Matter of fact, there was a report. I was going to talk about that. I put it. It was earlier this week where the investors were upset with Kojima. Well, not, but they weren't upset, but they were saying Sony was not very pleased about the sales of
And
Death
that's because of the
Stranding.
fact, and that they said that's because partly of it was because he revamped it a year and a half before it was supposed to launch, because they had scrapped what they did for 3 years.
Okay. Well, regardless of that, and then the fact that it's so only thing and hopefully that it's a good thing that the game is going to go to PC because that's the only thing that I think to give it opportunity to save it. Because if that game, and I mean, and that's definitely not a guarantee either, because it's not like people on PC going to just buy it in droves.
so
But
As a dude here who plays PC games, I can tell you, listen, it sold 250,000, to the PlayStation fan base who was trying to act like there was this whole thing. They talked the big mean game, but didn't spend this money. I can tell you as a PC gamer, they're not. No, they're not.
The stands do that a lot.
Well,
They talk a lot, but then they don't support.
look,
But
the
yeah, go
only
ahead.
way that game becomes anything on PC
Mhm.
is if the gaming community gets it, they mod it, and they make something completely different than what it is.
Right.
And then people want to buy it just to play that version of it. But
You're
in its
absolutely
current
right.
form, no. And the reason why it didn't sell, even though Kojima's name was on it, because, bro, word of mouth killed that shit. Word of
Mhm.
mouth can. Now, you would look at games like Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man, right? It's
Mhm.
going to sell regardless, right? But God of War, there's a lot of people that bought God of War that weren't God of War fans, but they bought it because word of mouth, right? And word of mouth said, people were like, "Oh, you got that game?" But like, bro, I get that shit back. Or it's boring. Or they tell you, well, what you got to do is you got to give it a chance. So like the first 4 hours, it's gonna be slow, you know. But after that, it picks up. Not much, but it picks up. You're like, what? Like, so
But man, when you're like 50 hours in, holy shit, bro, it's gonna blow your mind.
Right, like that was crazy. I sit there and watch
No,
Buddy play
thank
that.
you.
That was
No,
it.
thank
But
you.
but yeah, no, okay. So all right, so cool. We're gonna get to our last topic and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. And it looks like we're gonna do it on time. Maybe this is the actual thing to keep the GRG on time. Anyway, so well we don't have Lemon and other people in here. So regardless, um,
Well, you got me in 6, so I mean that makes sense.
yeah. Y'all will extend the topic to death. That's for damn sure. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not tripping about that at all. But I want to get into this last topic, and this is the big one of the night, and that is basically we're going to talk about Bleeding Edge. Now, of course, normally we talk about games that get started, that comes in, that drops. We talk about, there was Ori, that came out this month. There was Doom that just dropped. I know that there was a new character that got dropped in Tekken. There was They showed the character, I can't pronounce his name. Let me be country. From what is that game? Samurai Showdown that's in Samurai that's in Soul Calibur
Oh, Samurai
6.
and
Yeah, Soul
SoCal.
Calibur 6. Then there's a bunch of games that dropped on Game Pass. PlayStation has some. It's been leaked that they're going to have a really good PSN lineup. But we normally talk about, and then Bleeding Edge comes out. Now we normally talk about it, and then we now ask everybody, hey, what games did you play? What do you think about them, and things like this. But what's so really crazy about this? It's over one particular game, and that is Bleeding Edge. Now, as you know, if you've been following me, I really talk highly of Bleeding Edge. I loved it when I played it at E3. 100 enjoyed it. 108 enjoyed it. Bloody, I think you and Op got a chance to enjoy it. I know Super G and them liked it.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those things, but I think everybody, and you know what I'm saying, told people, look, this isn't those type of games that's going to be for everybody, but it's unique, it's different, it's got a cool premise, and you know, with the you know what I'm saying, with support, the game could be something. Nobody didn't come in and try to make this game out to be like it was going to be a 10 right off the bat. But Bleeding Edge drops. And I gotta show you this, guys. This is pretty damn crazy. This is pretty great. I've had a lot of crazy things that's happened to me doing this YouTube shit, but this was the most bizarre that I've ever had to deal with. Right here, check this out. Right, let me go to it. Right here, boom. All right, so you guys can see this, right? Now, if you just read it, you'll see. You know what I'm saying? This game is lackluster and a prime example of Game Pass fodder, a passion project from a B team. Thanks, Phil. The crazy thing about that is not only because they gave the game a 0, but they used my name. I sit here and somebody was watching the video that I had, and then they comment and I thought it was somebody being an asshole, and I was about to delete it, and I said, hold on, let me go to the PC and look at it again. And then I seen it because I said I seen this person before, and they don't even come in and because there's always somebody that's going to say something negative or whatever. But I was like, this person normally don't say anything crazy too out of base because I was just reading the comments or whatever. And it comes out that it was somebody that was on Metacritic using my name to slander a game that I enjoy. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is it that there's so many PlayStation fans? I'm sorry, not fans, but stands that are so up in arms about Bleeding Edge? What is it about that particular game that they want to give a game like this a 0 when nobody was expecting this game to be a triple A game banger or any of that shit? So I'm gonna go straight to you, Livewire, first on this. You've been playing with it. You've been playing. We've been streaming it. You know what I'm saying? You've had your frustration on it. First, let me know what you think about the game. And then after that, explain to me why is it that people have to use so much hate towards the game, and why do they even have to do it if they don't like it? Why do they have to talk about it?
All right. So first off, I think the game is probably between a 7 and a 7.5, right?
Mhm.
And that's not because the game is broken or anything. It's just content. It only has basically 2 modes. It's basically like Fortnite was when it first came out,
Mhm.
or PUBG. You pretty much only got your 2 modes for it. But it plays well. You know, it's challenging as shit. So I can see how if you're not willing to put the time in to really get used to at least a character that you find that you can be effective with, you're gonna struggle. It's not something you could just jump. It's like, it almost kind of reminds me of Gears. Like for a lot of people that play Gears of War, when you first jump in Gears of War, especially against people that already know what they're doing, you're gonna get your ass chewed up. It's just how it is, man. You're gonna have to take your lumps, and then eventually you figure things out. Um, but it just seems like some of these guys automatically say the game is trash for whatever reason. It could be a million reasons why they don't like it, which is fine. whatever. I just think that the excessive need to constantly bash the game is it's kind of odd. Just because it's like saying something on your page. Oh, this game is trash. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me in the least. But it's just odd watching the same people go to anybody's clip, post, conversation that are talking about, oh, I can't wait to play Bleeding Edge tonight, or oh, that was a hot clip. They come in like, why are you playing this trash? It's like, bro, why do you give a shit? That thing, for the love of God, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, bro, this is the craziest thing. Not everybody likes the same games.
Facts.
Yo, we been playing State of Decay like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what old girl's name is. I be playing on there with. She's like a State of Decay fanatic, bro. Fanatic, like she know that shit inside
Mad
out.
Queen.
Is it Mad
Mad
Queen?
Queen plays a lot. Yeah, Mad Queen streams the hell out of that and plays a lot of it.
I'm not sure it's Mad Queen. I think it's somebody else.
Oh, somebody
Um,
that's probably in a group with 100 in them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but Mad
It's
Queen do be
somebody
playing
else.
a
But
lot.
but she was like for real. Like she bout it. Like she was like, nah, you gotta do this. You gotta come over here and do that. And be like, oh, you can't store those things over there. You ain't got enough material. You gotta lace them up in the cars over here around it. Like she on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be like, yo, man, you don't want to play no games like God of War? She'd be like, nah, that shit trash. I'm gonna tell her, like she like State of Decay more than God of War. Like,
Fucking facts.
but
Oh shit! Oh shit!
but
Get
that's
him!
how she.
Oh
Straight
shit!
brother.
But that's how she feel about it, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what you
Oh
want to
shit!
tell
The
her?
lawyer going wild tonight.
She ain't no
He's off the
gamer because
clock.
she
That's
like.
why.
She had my trigger word. That's what it was. Yeah,
Oh,
my
Oh
trigger.
man.
shit! The trigger word. He said.
Go ahead, live. Go
Yeah,
ahead, live.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like, bro. Like, just because you like a game and it gets a high, score, bro, that don't mean it's the best game ever. Don't mean it's the worst neither. It's just, bro, you like what you like, you know. I
Facts.
just think people need to really get off their high horse and stop with this. Man, it's extreme fanboyism to the nth degree. Like this, even what we were talking about earlier with the whole thing with Phil and other developers, being friends and whatnot. It's like, what it reminds me of? It's like constantly hearing people complain about LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Like, if Michael Jordan was right, he wouldn't be friends with nobody. You're like, bro, that's all well and good, but that's a different era, bro. Like, they in the business of making money. They compete, but at the end of the day, they make money. And that's no different than Phil and well, damn, I don't even know who's left. Nintendo
Jim Ryan, and yeah.
Oh, Jim Ryan. Yeah, but see, Jim Ryan. I mean, I guess Jim Ryan. I mean, we just really learning about the dude, but he's been around for a while.
Right.
But yeah, all them dudes, they good. I was at least acquaintances, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they want to compete. They want to win. They don't want to win at the expense of PlayStation dying, because that don't benefit Xbox. You gotta, like, I think people unrealistically look at, like, guess what? If you think the only way your team can win is by the other team being completely obliterated, that's not really a win. But like, go, that's like somebody be like, man, I want my Giants to win. Lord Jesus, please let the Patriots airplane crash into the Hudson. Like, what the
Oh,
hell?
Wow.
whoa, let's not.
Wow.
But
He's not wrong,
Hey,
man. People
no,
that
no,
crazy.
but hey, we
Game line.
just lost. Hey, I'm just saying, we just lost someone in a plane crash. Let's not do that right now. All right.
That's true.
That is
yo,
true.
Huh?
and that's the thing. Like, these dudes take it to the extreme. Like, why can't why can't we could just see good competition? Why it got to be like you over here wishing death on the other or other company? I'm telling you. cats were saying
Yeah,
crazy
that's understandable right there. Yeah.
Yo, when they found out that the Xbox was 12 and the PlayStation was only 10, what we know is really like 9.2.
Yeah.
Yo, cats was out here losing their minds. They was sitting there crying, praying, doing seances. It's nuts, man. You know,
Begging
they
Sean Layden, come get rid of Jim Ryan. He's ruining what you built.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
Stop
did. Yeah,
It
it,
was
they
the
did
Jay.
go
most
to Sean Lane.
eerily creepy 3 hours of quiet as the PlayStation stands just sat and tried to come together and like, what excuse are we gonna give this time? It was creepy even. Like
Right.
3 hours. They
Yeah,
didn't say
yeah.
nothing.
It was pretty wild. It was
It
pretty
don't
wild.
matter. We got that SSD speed. You don't got shit.
Anyway, go ahead, live. Finish up, man.
yeah,
Finish up. Finish up.
yeah. So I mean, listen, man, it's funny, you know, and I mean, you're gonna get hate for, but you know, it just seems like this is the new thing. Like, you know, Ori's been out. It's still a 90, but they're not talking about that game. They act like it don't exist. The only thing they care about right now is Bleeding Edge was at 70, whatever on Meta, and when Grounded comes out, and that's not even going to come out like fully until who knows when, because that's a early access game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it
So
is.
they're going to be talking about that for like forever, which is funny. Yo, this is the thing that be killing me though. You have people out here talking about like Bleeding Edge is going to be here today and gone tomorrow and just die and fall off the face of the earth. These are the same dudes that said the same thing about Sea of Thieves, and now we 2 years later.
And we getting up for that anniversary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, bro, just because you don't like it, it's not the end of the world. Just play something else.
Yeah. No, I totally
And
agree.
doesn't it still have a really good streaming community too? Oh wait, yeah, it does. But does
Yeah.
God of War have a streaming community? Oh wait, no, it doesn't.
Oh man. Okay. 100. All right. I need you, bro. I need you on this one, man. As you can see right here, here's another one. I've been sitting here for a little bit, where you got this one individual that somebody else didn't use. Their name wasn't mine, but they so happened in this review to put my name in it. And it says right here, Bleeding Edge is a complete burning pile of K Mega's manure. It's a tinky winky title from Microsoft and should end up in Game Pass with the rest of the shovelware they offer. 0. This is like what? I don't even care if this was user or if it was come from IGN. Like, this shit is a 0 for one is abysmal, because no game should get a 0. But then you got somebody that's going here and why? You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't get it. But 100, man, you've been here and oh man, thank you. Like and subscribe, bro. Thank you, Patrick. I seen somebody else. What's up with you, music? I see Johnny Gamer up in here. Thank you so much. But yeah, like 100, man, talk to the people, man. Talk to me. First off, what do you think about Bleeding Edge, and why the hell is it this? Why is Bleeding Edge getting so much negative hate from people who say they can't stand it? Why do they gotta talk about it?
Cause anything Microsoft gonna be some hate. Now, for one is, I'm kind of Bleeding Edge out,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been playing Bleeding Edge since what, last E3.
Mm-hmm.
But I told everybody it's not for everyone. If you went to the Paladins and the other little game that I don't like,
Overwatch.
I like Paladins. Overwatch, but I like Paladins over Overwatch, and that's because it's not free to play. Because I bought all the damn characters. It's something unique, and they changing the game up. And think about it. Look at them guys. Them guys was passionate about that game.
Right. It was only 12 to 16 of them. I mean, wasn't that many of them?
And they would sit there. They see us and like, come on in. You know, like, man, I want to talk. I mean, they're telling stuff like, this is how we do this. You heard the passion from the developer. Like I said, I'm not really talking to the developer person like that on Super, but they were like, bring your ass in here and let's go. And then, no, you're not just going to be murking people. When we played and we did our thing from E3, I played as a healer. My gun was that gun that was on Harlem Nights, that pat gun. Quit shooting that.
Stop it! Don't shoot that little more.
I triple, don't shoot it again. You know what I'm saying? But that's how my gun was. But I can heal everybody. That's what they're bringing. That's what they wanted to do, and they bringing that love. And for people to try to put it down, and they ain't never played it. If you play Overwatch and you talk about this game, you need to go get a bag of nickels and slap the shit out of yourself.
Oh man, see,
Damn,
I need a stream deck. I need a stream deck so bad because that'd be perfect. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Because they be on it's a bunch of. I learned about this gaming community. There's a lot of hypocrites out there, and this and that, and I'm like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? For one, if you got game, go jump in and play it before you talk about it. Like my man, shout out to my man Doom. You know what I'm saying? Gonna put his full name out there, Philosopher Doom. He didn't care for it. But you see him on the interweb bashing it? No. You know? And that's why I said I've been talking about Metacritic score. I can't stand Metacritic for nothing because it's nothing based, not a base guideline. Mm-hmm. Somebody used your name several times and said the game was a bunch of dog. How many other people do the same thing, or they just want to put the game just because they don't like it? You know, I thought Bleeding Edge was what Bleeding Edge was going to be. Bleeding Edge is fun. When you especially get to think, man, I love like the environment kills and stuff like that. That was crazy. Mm-hmm. Look how many characters. Look how many times they let people go into beta before they even bring out the whole. And they introduce their characters. This is a character. They did what Overwatch did. Introduce new characters. But it's garbage because it's made and Microsoft bought this. So you're gonna try these are the same people that made Hellblade. So Hellblade is garbage too. And Hellblade more linear. Man. I started Hellblade over, and I thought I had to go call me a shrink. But that's how good these men. If you don't like them type of game, just like I know people don't like first-person shooters. They don't like single-player game. Perfect example. Who out right now? He don't really play that too many single-player shooters. What's his name? 108? Know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He don't, but he goes straight to multiplayer. So a lot of people go straight to multiplayer, where I will go straight to the
story first.
The story, because that's what I like to do.
I mean, I'm that way with Call of Duty. I told that one. I was
when it comes to Call of Duty, bought after the fact for that.
Yeah, most people go straight to the multiplayer for COD, and especially now, COD even just made. They didn't even add no story elements to Warzone. They just knew exactly what the people wanted.
Actually, no, they did have a story to Warzone. It's the trailer that starts season 2 when they first introduced Ghost.
Are you playing that story, Bloody?
No. Well, kind of.
Is it interactive like the story in the original game?
No, what I'm saying is that it's tied. It's a meta thing. It's kind of what they did with Fortnite. How there's that overall story that's being told with each new season and update and shit like that. They kind of did that with the new seasons, like how they introduced Ghost. He was talking about how there's a lot of chemical weapons and that the PMCs are fighting amongst each other.
Right. You're playing it's a little objective, but it's not an actual story.
Oh no. I'm not saying that there's an actual story in it, but I'm saying they're tying the story to it. That's how they're doing it because they're paying attention to what others.
Basically, there's context behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just put context, but it's not the story. Go ahead, Mohamed. Go ahead.
The average consumer don't give a damn. They just want to go shoot something up.
Right.
That's what they do. They say, I got another something that I can shoot something up. That's what they want to do in Call of Duty. But guys that want to slander it and bash it, you know what I'm saying? You talking to two of the first people that ever played that game. Bloody 2, 3. Bloody I forgot about you, Bloody. My bad. You know what I'm saying? The Satan rings got me. You know what I'm saying? They put me in the drinks.
He said the Satan rings got him. Damn, the power of the Satan rings. Oh my God.
But matter of fact, Op was there too, so I can't forget about Op. Op was there. Like I said, 108 was there. People got hands on this game before this game. To me, it's 10 times more better than what I played in the Alpha, Beta, and Omega Supreme. It's better. It's different characters.
Did you say Omega Supreme?
He said Omega
Yeah.
Supreme.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I got you. I got you.
Transformer
That
lore.
Transformer
That's
life.
cool.
Hey, that Transformer life. Hey, hashtag Race Tracy. Go ahead, my brother.
But they gotta think about it as people. You gotta understand what the game is. Like people bash Halo Wars 2 and 1. I love that, and I'm not even them type of person to play that game. But I can play it on the Xbox because the story is so immersive, and you just want to just do this and do that, and it's simple. It's not. I gotta have a mouse and keyboard and all that other stuff. Some people want to come home and just pick up a controller and just go. And you can just do that on Bleeding Edge. But don't be bashing it if you don't know how to play. If you want to know how to play it, you can pay me $50 an hour. Tell you some. I'm telling you something. And this was crazy, man. I'm ain't gonna lie to you. Remember we got all them free codes?
Oh yeah.
You know what's hard for me to sell people on them codes?
Really?
You want free? It was kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of hard. But then when people start talking about like me and you got some codes? You got some codes? And then shout out to Ninja Theory, because Ninja Theory just gave me some codes on the rip. And I'll just start giving anybody like, don't do no, you want to play. That's how Doom got to play it. And he was like, man, I just don't feel like it. I'm like, yeah, this like I don't feel like that character on Mortal Kombat. That's OP, which I like to use. But no, Bleeding Edge is a good game. I give Bleeding Edge between 7.5 to 8.
Okay. All right. 7.5 to an 8. All right. Cool. All right. Live. What would you give it out of a score from 1 to 10?
What, Bleeding Edge?
Yeah.
I said between 7 and 7.5.
7.5. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. All right. Anything else you want to?
It's way better than this damn Predator Hunting Ground. I can't even play this shit.
You playing Predator Hunter Ground right now?
I'm trying to. The anti-aliasing on this game, like it looked double A for real. You know what it should look like? It looked like State of Decay to be honest. It looks like State of Decay, but like the way the animation is. But like the anti-aliasing in this game way worse. Like they don't have no option. Like bro, let me read off the option because I'm playing on PC because I couldn't even play the play.
Well, I thought that was a PlayStation exclusive banger.
It don't look good on PlayStation though.
Well, fam, I could have told you that, but anyway.
Watch that. Watch it go wood.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. It's gonna go wood. It ain't nobody gonna talk about that. You don't hear nobody talking about it now.
All right, so and I'm playing it because I'm a Predator and Aliens fan, so that's the reason why I'm playing it. All right, so you got video quality. My shit's on Epic. You got resolution 4K. You got Gamma, VSync, and first person. Oh wait, I'm in the match. Oh shit! 3 minutes later.
Oh, need that SSD. Need that SSD life. All right, cool.
Oh, that's that PSN.
That SSD ain't gonna save that net code and that shit.
Okay, now that's also. I know I don't want to go too left on this, but this is also something too live that I wanted to touch on, but I just wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that the stream go right because it was our first time putting the show on Mixer, other than when we did it on like Restream or whatever, but actually just going completely on Mixer. But there was a report of why Sony said themselves that they were going to slow down. They was going to slow down people's internets on purpose, or was it just the download speeds or something of that nature?
Just the download speeds.
Just the download speeds. Well, yeah, it was something of that nature, and I was kind of like, what the hell? So I don't know, man. I don't know. So I guess that really don't have anything to do with it. So never mind, scratch that. But anyway, so 100. Anything else you wanna?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Op, let's go to you, man.
There's a lot to unpack here. Like,
well, unpack. You've been kind of giving really short answers. You know what I'm saying? I'm saving the last two talk heads last, so we can go ahead and get them, and then we'll sign out.
Oh, wow.
Talk that talk.
Hey man, look.
Rule over this for a little bit.
Look, we was about to be on time, but now since we're gonna have Bloody and Slick, it's over. So you know what I'm saying? We're still gonna go a little bit over, but that's okay. People are still here, and I appreciate that. So Op, go ahead, take all the time you fucking need. It doesn't matter.
You wanna
Okay,
go?
so
We'll go
start
for
from the beginning. That person who made a
No,
soccer
we don't
camp.
want you to go, Bloody, because we know that you can go 20 minutes. No, 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 no,
No,
no,
I'm
no,
not
no,
gonna do
no.
that one. We're
Go.
real quick and
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It's
No,
nice
no, you don't have to be quick and nice because you've been the quietest of the night. Go ahead and say. You said you got
I'm
a lot
telling
to
him to talk
unpack.
that talk.
I want to
All right.
hear it. I want to hear Op. I want to hear the Junior break it down. Go ahead.
I'm feeling
Okay, so
irritated.
one, this man has too much free time, created multiple soccer accounts on our review school websites, one to impersonate you, which no one believes. Then on top of that, to shit on a game as well. This goes back to people just review bombing games at this point. What the hell's wrong with you? Like really, at this point, like there's games I don't like. I despise Fortnite. That game doesn't exist to me at this point. I don't look at it. I don't play it. People talk about it, like, I'm good. Like that's it. I keep it out of my sphere of influence at this point, and I leave it alone. For some reason, why people have the urge to just review bomb something because they don't like or want to be part of this bandwagon, it's like I really don't get it. And the sad part is mostly grown men and women at this point. They're probably getting enough nurturing when they're growing up at this point, so they try to find something to validate their own existence at this point. So it gets to hop on the internet. And another thing was anonymity at this point, like because people don't know who they are unless I guess what's correct term, not DDoS them, and they forget the information at that point, which someone's going to do because why waste your time? So like people they get a little high off of this because nobody knows who they are. Just review bomb the game. They're part of bad one. That's just sad. Moving on from that, as far as Bleeding Edge, I'm loving it so far. I haven't played it that much because Frostpunk kind of got me hooked right now because I love survival games.
Right.
But like Bleeding Edge,
Ooh,
like
Frostpunk is good stuff.
yes, I love it, man. I wish I had a PC to play it properly, but I'm loving it on console. But
What game you talking about?
Frostpunk.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what you was talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I played that when it came out, when it launched on console because yeah.
Yeah, it's dope, man. But as far as Bleeding Edge, it's like I'm enjoying it so far. There's a lot of depth into the mechanics and how you play the game as well. There's a lot I haven't figured out yet myself. And I've played a beta like every time it dropped at this point, except for like the pre beta because they had like crazy hours, like 11 to 12 p.m. at night. I just had time to play it. But like, so I'm loving it so far. But as far as people who are shitting on it, I get it. You don't like it. It's not for you. That's fine. Games are not. There isn't a game that's for everybody at this point. There's something's not going to be for someone at this point. But I'm starting to notice there's a pattern here at this point with the PlayStation stands online. Like I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat for this part, but like, have anyone else noticed that they're not particularly fond of games with good gameplay at this point? Look, hear me out now, because I know this is a joke in the community, but look at the pattern. We'll just drop Doom Eternal.
Right.
Outside the Doom community, they haven't said shit about it. Going back from there, Mortal Kombat. Outside the community over there, they haven't said shit about that as well. Going back from there as well, it's like fires throughout the entire year. Ghost Recon, what else dropped before that? Assassin's Creed games as well. The bigger multiplayer games, and sometimes Microsoft first party.
Well, they talked about Odyssey. They did talk about a lot about Odyssey.
Okay, I'll give them Odyssey at that point. But like most multiplayer games, or most games in general, that isn't an exclusive, a third party exclusive or a second party exclusive, is ignored by them for the most part. The stand online community, not just the regular fans.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, just look at what the when they felt threatened by Red Dead Redemption 2. Just look at how they just went after Red Dead. Like
Exactly.
Like that was insane to me. Like there's no.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
They're literally a cult at this point because if anything is not a first party exclusive or within like the exclusive party realm at that point, they will either ignore it or shit on it. Like perfect example with Bleeding Edge. Like this game, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of mechanics. Like you can't play it like any other arena game at this point. You have to play as a team. Oh, it's another thing. They're scared of cooperative games for some reason as well, but oh well. So with Bleeding Edge, people are trying out. I'm like, okay,
unless it's that god awful Uncharted multiplayer or last.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. But as far as Bleeding Edge, there are people that are playing it. Okay, you can try it out. You can have an opinion about it. So I'm looking at what they say. Like this game is dog shit. Basically, I ran a shitty ass team and such whatever. I hate this game. It's trash. I'm like, hold up, bro. So I responded to him like, hold on. Are you blaming the game for your own fuck ups and other people's fuck ups as well? And he pretty much deflected from it at that point. I'm like, and I kept seeing that same response from different people that I didn't even respond to that point. So I'm saying, so there's a skill gap that you can't meet at this point. And on top of that, there's a cooperative element as well. It's better to play with friends. Some games are like that. Oh well, get over it. And so for some reason, as an adult, I will believe you have some friends at this point. In your PlayStation community, you got a game with. I'm pretty sure some of you have Xbox as well. Y'all can link up and play this game. It's on Game Pass. Fuck it, everybody can get it at this point. Look at my subscription. So I guess is that not a barrier to entry for you at this point? So I'm like, it's all these unnecessary hurdles for them I'm just like, this really makes no sense because like this really falls back to the tinfoil hat theory. They are afraid of gameplay and afraid of cooperative games at this point because they either ignore or shit it on at this point. State of Decay is not
Or
a looker.
or they can't play multiplayer games except for just maybe one or two. They just don't. I mean, this is one thing that I've realized, right? Because I what I'm saying, you guys know how I play games. Like I can get immersed into a single player game, and you guys won't hear from me for a couple of months. Then I'll be into my multiplayer games. But the one thing that I realize when I play, if I get into a long stint of playing a couple of single player games, and then I come back to try to play a fighting game, that's the best time to get me because I'm so whacked out because I've been playing that single player game for so long. Yeah, I'm out of the zone. And you know what I'm saying? I'm out. Like, and sometimes I can't even recover. Like, it's crazy. Right. Like, so just imagine if that's all they play is those single player quote unquote bangers. Like, you can't play nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Your competitive edge is all fucked up.
Another thing that stems from it as well, there's been a narrative run for a couple of years now that like allegedly, I'm not gonna name them specifically because that's gonna start some other shit, but like there's a certain set of publishers and developers out there, well just one, and a couple of developers under them that allegedly make games that everybody can play, which is bullshit because we see attach rates from it as well. Mm-hmm. So that's been like the long-standing narrative that's run for a couple of years. People, almost everybody supports it, podcasters, content creators, whoever. They either directly or indirectly support that at this point. And so stemming from that at this point, if any game does not fit within that small little, I guess, criteria of games that they deliver, it's trash at this point. Because like State of Decay, it's a simulator of a zombie apocalypse at this point. It's not like Dying Light at this point, or like Dead Island, or Dead Rising at this point. Like those games is more of a quote unquote arcadey. It's like a video game at this point. But State of Decay, you have to maintain and manage your survivors in your community at this point. It's because of them, it doesn't shout AAA like single player bare bones mechanics and depth gameplay. They shit on it already. On top of that, it's not a good looker. To them at this point, it looks decent to me. Like it looks good. I really don't care. But it doesn't really scream the AAA quote unquote qualities that people have run with across this generation. Because people they go back and forth. Everybody has their own definition of a AAA game. It's really hasn't really defined this generation. People have their own definition behind it. Some people say it's the budget, which is kind of bullshit because you can't really judge a budget off of a game just from looking at it. I mean, Red Dead Redemption, they said what was a rumor to have like 400 million budget behind it. If you look at that game, like you would think it's like any other open world game. We got this generation, so you would be able to tell. Going from there as well, Hellblade. They said it was like a AAA indie. That's a weird title to me, but we'll roll with it anyway.
No, I believe it's that is an actual
thing. Hold on, guys. Let me hit up the chat, man. I was trying to let Op finish, but then Bloody wanted to get in. I was like, no, we're gonna have to stop that.
No, he was saying AAA indie. I was saying that's
Bloody. I got it. There's somebody in the chat, bro. Somebody in the chat. I was saying I got to give a big shout out to Music, giving out those. Damn, that's the biggest embers I've ever seen given.
1,500. Let's go.
I don't even know what that. I don't even know what that is.
That's $15.
Holla, hot damn holla. Lord have mercy.
Eating tonight.
Yeah. I'm going. Well, I ain't gonna be eating nothing because I ain't at 1,000 followers yet. So I gotta.
No, you can still eat. I was like, as long as you hit your 5,000 by the end of the month, you get that payout.
Got a quota, Phil.
5,000 what? 5,000 what?
Embers.
Oh, if you get 5,000 embers by the end of the month, really? I had no.
That's right. Eat back and let's go.
Hell yeah! Because I was like, hey, if y'all want to go ahead and do it like a super thanks, you get in the description there is a PayPal.
So 5,000 means $100.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and give it. But let me read this man's shit.
No,
thank you.
$5,050 right there.
Yeah. Thank you. He said, the speed of bleeding edge is okay. The speed and bleeding edge okay with y'all. I wish it was a little faster, but other than that, the game is fun with friends. No randoms for me. And but listen, it was awfully slow in the previews. Oh, look at this! Look who just popped in here out his deathbed. 108.
Yo, what up?
Oh shit! Hey
He
man,
sounds like
he sound like Biggie when he was scared, man, when his life was in danger. He said,
Oh shit! Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh man, nah, that's violation. That's violation.
hey, bro,
Boy.
my bro sound like it when Biggie was sitting laid back in that chair. He said, "Man, you just
Who
don't
the
know."
fuck is this?
Yeah, who the fuck is this? Anyway, what's up, 108? What's happening with you, bro? How you feeling, man?
Ghost,
Uh-oh, shit.
still here.
Nice cover.
Still here,
Oh,
still
you
here.
too? Oh, man.
Thank God, bro. Thank God. But I'm gonna let Op finish. But I just want to go ahead and I wanted to read that. Thank you so much, music. Hey, 108. Before I go to 108, let me ask you, how is it sounding and how's it looking over here on Mixer so far?
Excellent.
Really, good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Oh wait, GRG is right here, baby. We on Mixer now. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be putting this on over on YouTube after we get done. But yeah, we still doing it live. But anyway, Op, go ahead.
But yeah, so like, Blood, you're saying something about game from Ninja Theory, Hellblade.
Yeah.
What was the correct title for it?
For indie titles, especially high budget like that one it's called Triple I. It's basically because I is just for indie. So there's like Double I, which is some of the smaller projects that we've seen like in early access. Those are Double I, but the way that you would have classified the original Hellblade
Bloody,
was
he
Triple
just
I.
asked you one question.
There you go.
All right. Go ahead.
So like Hellblade, they came out clarified, I guess, their budget and how you should look at the game. If they hadn't said that, a lot of people wouldn't have either guessed or would have known what realm the game was set in. And the game, for when it came out, looks gorgeous at this point. So people, they really get caught these titles, AAA, AA, all that crap. But at the end of the day, like, you really cannot look at a game and tell it, in most cases, if it's AAA or AA at this point. Because, like, looks are deceiving at this point. Because you can see a game, like, you can say a game just screams quality, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I heard it from podcasters a lot, but, like, you look at a game, say it screams quality, it screams quality at this point. You can look at it, you can tell it's high budget, it's high value, high production. I look at the same game like, how? Like, so photorealistic graphics, third-person over-shoulder gameplay, a story that you can follow easily, screams high production. That is a bare minimum for game development at this point. I'm just sorry, that's just ridiculous, especially in 2020 right now. Like, Doom Eternal right now came out. I'm not saying nobody. The main appeal behind Doom Eternal is not the story, it's the gameplay. And what they did in that game, from the lore building of the characters and enemies you find in the game as well, as far as establishing that universe, that shit embarrassed most of the devs out here, bro. It is crazy, man. Like,
speak on it.
It is insane, man. Like, the shit, like, the stuff you got from that game, like, it takes like 2 or 3 games just to build up in some of the other games as well. Just like, it's just sad. Like, they deliver a good story that you can follow, and there's some depth to it as well. You can read the codex entries, all that stuff. And it's phenomenal gameplay at that point. They achieve both of those, and it looks good at the same time. And you're telling me these developers, publishers out here, who want to focus on looks and that measly story they deliver, can't even nail gameplay at this point? That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. You should be able to accomplish either 3 or 4 of those going into your game as well. If you want to focus on the story and the story and looks, that's fine. But if you can't deliver gameplay at this point, and you're a quote unquote top tier world class developer, fuck out here, man. That's some horseshit to me right now. They achieved all of those in like less development time. What Doom? What's 2016 or in 2020 right now?
2016.
Yeah. 4 years they delivered that. This game, one of these games, pushed 6-7 years at this point, and like, it's just sad, man. They embarrass these devs out here. It's not even funny, man. They weren't even trying to. They just did their own thing and just like made people look like livestock. Nobody's gonna say that because everybody has the wrong. I'm not saying they have the wrong perspectives, but like people are just looking at it differently because the people that they look at the story and the measly gameplay and the looks and say, oh yeah, this is a good game, but they deliver all those, and people are like, okay, this is just sad. The state of community, in my opinion, is just sad right now. The priorities people have are just terrible at this point. They're trying to turn games into some like just story driven. There's stuff around story driven, but like heavily story driven cinematic interactive movies at this point. Like, I know some games are not going to have gameplay in it, but like the gameplay they offer is just mediocre and abysmal to a point where you cannot discredit that joke they made about him. Because what's the point of having gameplay if it's just mundane, it's trash, but it's like the story's so great? Like, why? It's just why. I don't know. I'm done. It's just stupid.
No. I mean, I'm glad you brought it out. I just look at it from that standpoint of, look, if you like story-driven games that kind of hold your hand, things like
There's
that.
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But if the industry goes that direction, like, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a certain group of people that seem to be on this wavelength to want to stop any type of online type of game, and it seems like there's certain parts of the media that wants that. I've said this many of times. Like, look, the media keeps on downgrading multiplayer games. Like Gears 5 should have had way more accolades than what it did, but because it was a multiplayer, it got knocked off for it because it's a pew pew bro shooter. And they want to try to get away from that, but then they want people to be in this. If you want to watch a fucking movie, go watch. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of movies on Netflix. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go do whatever. Go do what 100 do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But the thing of it is, to me, is there's a place for everything, and the
hypocrite. You're making money off of it, but like games as a service. Well, go ahead.
No. Well, I'm just gonna say the hypocritical thing about all of this is that everybody was jumping on Microsoft's ass before they acquired these studios, talking about 343 and Coalition wasn't giving their creative freedom, and now you see that Ninja Theory this was a heart project from that small team. You saw the passion with them, like 100 said, and they made this game, and now you want to shit on that creative freedom because it's not that quote unquote AAA banger. That's the biggest lie of misconception and the biggest fraud in the public I've ever seen. It screams.
I'll even say
right now, can't make all these people right now, content creators, to keep it on the real side. People was like, I'm just creative. What was that? Was it critical criticism, whatever it was called, for Microsoft? Most of it's horseshit at this point. Because as soon as they Microsoft aligned themselves,
critical feedback.
Thank you. Critical feedback. As soon as Microsoft aligned themselves to, I guess, correct those areas that people are saying are wrong in, they flip on them.
Right.
Biggest thing, creative freedom. Right. Ninja Theory. There's
Project Mara. There's Project Mara. Yeah, too. And now that what they did with Bleeding Edge, and they even said that
Grounded too. Yes.
Grounded. Yeah.
Not that they want to. They could have asked all those games. Right. They probably lost acquisitions, but if they want to, they could have asked them.
And then they get yelled at for asking those games.
Right, because at the end they would still have to do the same type of game that got a gun in it and have some multiplayer if there wasn't Game Pass. Hold on, let me read this from Jazzy News.
Yeah, please do.
Let me read that. He says working you towards that payout goal till you get partner. Keep doing what you do, GRG. Thank you guys, man. I really appreciate the support. I didn't even think that I was going to have this many people watching us go in on here, because I knew, like, even though I posted it a couple of times, I know that there was people that just, they're in a routine. They probably was listening to Crossfire, and then they go in there like, what the hell? Where Mega go? I'm telling you, in the morning, I'm going to hear from about 15 people like, what happened to GRG? I didn't even hear.
The Cross like, when did you quit?
Yeah, all types of crazy shit. But that, you know what I'm saying. But this is where we're going to be. I feel comfortable in doing it, and and everybody's saying it sounds great. It looks great. So this is where we're going to do, as long as I can pay the cable bill. Anyway, so okay.
That's the point for me. I'll get out of here.
All right.
But so
okay, go ahead.
Don't forget. Oh yeah, games as a service at this point. For some reason, okay, so I guess I know why. Most of the gamers out here they're hellbound on single player games, and those being the only form of content for them. Nothing wrong with that. You can like only one type of genre. There's nothing wrong with that as well. But for some reason, you feel threatened that other developers decide to go the game service route, and it makes you want to shit on them. That's just ridiculous. Because this is one big circle. Developers are pivoting towards that model because it's more lucrative. It's lower risk at this point. Because some games they're not selling they used to at this point, because people have more shit to choose from, and more mediums, more hobbies. We're a growing society. People have more things to do at this point. So developers going towards that lower risk factor, they get threatened because they're going to think, oh, if they go towards this, we get less single player games. So let's shit on those to get more of this. It doesn't work that way, because if they can't make money off of that, they're done. Regardless, most of these developers, publishers, if they're big game, if they're flops, that's it. Unless whoever's backing them decides to dig them out that hole and keep pushing forward. Most of them don't want to do that because it's too much damn money going on the drain. So with them, they're scared that they'll get more games and service at this point. So much shit on get more games and service. So shit on those going forward. But what I'm thinking is, all this is because people are not buying as many games as they used to in some cases for games. So if you're here championing single player games as the top tier of the medium for video games, then why isn't anybody supporting how they should be? Why aren't you supporting how they should be? Because these single player games, either you're not, because most cases they won't buy it on release, they'll wait for a sale, or they'll red box them, or for some reason or some shape or form they'll pirate at this point. So really, it's just like you gotta look in the mirrors, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself what the fuck is going on. Because you're worried, quote unquote worried, that the industry would go in one direction because due to lack of funds, but here you are supporting that indirectly because you don't want to support them.
Right.
But the games as well at that point. So like people just gotta keep it real. Like if you don't want something, vote what you want. Buy the opposite at that point. You don't want more games and service, buy single player games that are coming that you want. But of course, we all know that's not possible for everybody because we're all working. We all got to take care of ourselves, and of course, what's going on right now, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to buy as much games as you want at this point. So you got to pick and choose, which is understandable. But shitting on the opposition is not going to give you more of what you want. Yeah, in actuality, it's going to give you less. But nobody realizes that, which is sad.
No, you're absolutely right, man. Great point. Great point. That's why that's why I was waiting for the explosion. I was waiting for it because you got into it a little bit, and then you just. But now that's why I was like, let it go. Let Op break it down. So okay, I'm gonna have to ask Bloody and Slick because y'all been carrying us tonight. Y'all gotta keep it. Y'all gotta keep it a little. You know what I'm saying? Don't let's not take it. Let's not go all night. And I'm gonna go to Lemon because I know Lemon just got a little bit of. You know what I'm saying, a little bit of energy left. So I want him to go ahead and say what he got to say next. But I do want to get out of here so my ass can game or do the pants off, dance off. And I think my old lady sleeps, so that means I got to do the pants. I can't do the pants off, dance off, so I got to go.
Hands off, dance off.
It's got to be the gaming. So anyway, 108, man. Glad you're here. I want to hear your thoughts about this, man. I don't know if you've seen what happened with somebody impersonating.
I saw it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I mean, what is up with all this hate with certain games? I mean, why?
It's not hate. You got people out here sitting in the corner like Gargamel, always just sitting.
Not Gargamel.
Yeah, like Gargamel, son, waiting for the downfall. And it was crazy. These dudes' energy just reflects their life. How can you talk shit about games that you don't even play? And if you're a man, why use your name and make the comment? Fucking man up. They deserve to be slapped for that. Because if you was a man, you put your own damn name and put your opinion. But you a stan and you figure, oh, I'm going to use K-Mega because he's the voice of Xbox and it's going to make him look like, oh shit, look what K-Mega said. That's why it's good that you expose their ass, because these dudes are frauds, they weird, and they just don't have no life. It's just ridiculous that they go out their way. They go out their way to be negative. Fuck these dudes with all this negative energy, man, and don't even feed into they nonsense, man. Bleeding Edge graphically looks better than a lot of first party AAA games. Sorry.
No, you
it
good.
Just is what it is.
No, you good.
And it's a MOBA style game. I'm an Overwatch style player, and that game is awesome. If you don't want to play games and have fun, maybe you need to just go somewhere and kill yourself.
Oh shit!
Because that's why people hear the game.
Oh, we can't be saying that kind of stuff now. Hey,
yes, we can.
We can't be doing so. We can't be saying
we
that.
We ain't on YouTube, like motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mixer, you can't be saying that kind of stuff. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You can't be saying that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you gotta have some restrictions. But go ahead.
What I'm saying is, these dudes with this negative energy, I just feel like just lining them up and just start slapping them in a row, just walking through a line, just smacking the shit out of them, because they need a dose of reality. Because that's some real cornball shit. I've never seen no shit like that. And this is just ridiculous. And it's always, they don't use nobody else. They're always using K-Mega, because you're the voice of reason. So when you say things, people listen. So the first thing they do is discredit your name, thinking they doing something, but you just got exposed. You're a fronter. Use your own goddamn name. Too much negative energy, man. And these dudes,
But one ain't gonna use nobody else's name because they already know May gonna play the politically correct game. I'm gonna come at their asses. I put a cease and desist letter.
Well,
That stuff.
now you know
And I sit there. I put straight a cease and desist. I said, you use my likeness, you use anything towards me, this is on. And I got a couple of videos made by me like, oh, this dude real serious. Yeah, I'm real serious. When they found out it's real serious because you're using my likeness without my permission, and you're using it in a negative way.
These dudes are weird, man. And
you're using the negative way.
I haven't been saying nothing on Twitter, and I still just reading the comments full of stupid. And they're gonna say anything to prove a point that they can't prove anyway. 99% of the people that's on Twitter don't know shit, and they out here pretending and understanding stats and what Mark Cerny said that they have no fucking clue. Something's wrong with these dudes, and this gaming community is getting more toxic. In 2013, we had to eat a crow. You didn't see us go bashing no PlayStation stuff. Soon as they started losing, oh Mark Cerny, this is what he meant. And something wrong with these dudes, man. And they miserable. These are not people who play bleeding edge. These are stands just talking, and they mean absolutely nothing. State of decay.
This quote unquote, what we got going on in the world. You see who's some world followers. It's a lot of followers.
Right.
Look at State of Decay. They talked all that shit. Over 6 million people playing it a week. Over 8 million people playing Sea of Thieves. Yes, cartoony. It's a game. Nobody don't give a goddamn.
I don't hear nobody talking about.
No. You know what?
This is not about Nintendo. This is about PlayStation because they have no online presence in anything. Anything.
Facts.
But these are the games that they sit around and talk shit about, and they don't have no legs to fall back on. Who the fuck is playing God of War?
Nobody.
Who playing Spider-Man?
Nobody.
I watched Bloody go damn near through the whole game of Horizon Zero Dawn. Bloody, is that game hit detection terrible?
Yes, it is.
You don't hear nobody talking about that shit. Days Gone, invisible motorcycles. Come on, man. But they don't say nothing about that. Oh, nobody care about Halo Infinite. Halo, they don't even have a game to match Halo. They need to just leave certain games out of their mouth.
Gears of War, Halo, they race a game going down the drain. So
no game that has legs after the single player. Gears of War has plenty of cutscenes, plenty of interaction, and plenty of story. And then you got multiplayer once you beat all that shit. And multiplayer modes. People still play Gears every day.
Right.
Millions of people. So what are these dudes talking about? I'm gonna get Spider-Man the sequel. And after you beat that,
yeah,
crickets.
Yeah,
you're gonna beat that 15 times.
Right. I got all the costumes. I got all the little bags.
You can't make it. This is what
they're gonna be playing that LBGTYLWOM, the people with the letter game. That's what they're gonna be doing. They're gonna rebind
Spider-Man 30 times. Like, damn, you ain't got no other.
The only thing you'd be hearing is not only you wouldn't just be hearing the crickets, you'd be hearing nothing but just pigeons in the back just cooing because they're
I just don't understand the toxic community. This shit is just really ridiculous, and they hide behind these keyboards, and everybody's some goddamn tough guy, and y'all not like that. Y'all need to just stop. You don't like a game, shut your ass up and play Pong or something. Go get a life. You know what I'm saying? Do the pants off, dance off. Maybe you coming up short in that area.
No, they could never do that.
No, they can't play that game. Yeah, if they going out there on the internet like that, bro, they lacking a lot of pants off, dance off. That's for damn sure.
Facts.
Yeah, I tell people this.
They got too much energy.
If they did the pants off, dance off, they'd be a lot happier in their life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They wouldn't be so angry. I would damn sure be.
Anytime you get on this interweb, you gotta expect some type of. Everybody ain't gonna like you.
Right.
You can't be friends with everybody. Everybody ain't gonna be friends with you. This and this and that. But when you deliberately go attack somebody for what they like, you know what I'm saying?
You have a personal
Yeah,
problem.
it's bad. It's no what, and people think it's just a game.
And it's on both sides. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it should
and
be
both
right.
sides do it, and then it's also in the sports community, stuff like that. I see it all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I see bias stuff all the time. But
fanboys is getting that smoke now because they've been giving it out so long.
Yeah. But I don't sit there like, oh, everybody got to be. You don't got to like me. I don't care if you don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you ain't paying my bills. You ain't put no check. You ain't giving me no money.
These dudes ain't paying their own bills. They sitting home in their mom's basement.
So when people say I'm everything positive, no, I don't need everything. I need a balance. You know
right. You just need the common sense.
And I need the bad. Because sometimes the good can be good, but sometimes I need the bad because I might miss some. That's why sometimes I listen to my videos like, why did I missaid that. I'm waiting for somebody to come at me for that one. But it's nothing wrong to say I was wrong. And a lot of people don't want to say I was wrong. It's the thing about I think it'd be a lot of different when somebody say, hey, I made a mistake, I was wrong.
Right. Right.
That's some grown man stuff to say right there. No child would think or even act that way ever. Like you can make mistakes sometimes, you know?
Exactly. All right. So so we got two of you guys left. Come on, let's keep it brief. And so we can just go ahead and knock it out so we can get the hell out of here. I really appreciate you, Lemon, coming on, man, and speaking your piece. Okay, so I'm going to start off with you, Bloody. Get your thoughts about this whole situation. Why are people acting like this? What is the reasoning behind it? I mean, well, that's the same question, but I mean, and what did you think about Bleeding Edge? What was your score, from 1 to 10?
Dude, if I had to give it a score, I agree with where everyone else is. 7.58 because of the fact that his saw gameplay.
Shit! I ain't never seen that. What's going on, man? It's raining. It's raining embers. Oh shit! Hey, thank you, music. All aboard the X train, baby. Good night. All right.
Yay.
I ain't never seen no shit like that. What the hell? That was dope.
That's called an Ember Rally. It's an effect. So whenever they pay to do that, it does little effects on the actual stream.
That is dope. Well, thank you so much, music.
I was like, you should wait till someone drops a shark. It's always fun to see the shark.
Oh, I don't even know what the hell that is. But anyway, yeah, that's crazy. Woo. Yeah. All right, cool. All right.
But I agree with where everyone else is. 7.58 is where it is. I was like, the biggest drawback is the fact that the content is kind of light with the fact that it has 2 modes, but the gameplay is still fun. It is a very coordinated team-based game, like a lot of other games that are out there. And we've all been playing this from the alpha and from when we played at E3 last year. It is not a game for everyone. It is a very game that is going to take a while to get used to until you get trained and really understand how your character plays, understand the distance, because distance is a major thing in that game, and then knowing who you can really team up with and kind of where y'all balance each other out and where y'all work together. The hate for this game is just kind of ridiculous because of the fact that, as you saw with the people who are willing to use your name, I've seen before people have used my name. I think some people have used Lemon's name before, and definitely they've all gone after 100 or anything. Is the fact that we're very pro Xbox, but we speak openly about a lot of these passion projects from these devs. I agree with where Op said is that they talk about how they want all these studios that supposedly has creative freedom, and then when they get that blank check and they're able to make, hey, guess what? We have our primary team, and hey, y'all want to be a small team and do another project? That's fine. Y'all can go do that. It's always just like, oh, this is what all that money's funded for, this little stupid project. It's like, what the hell is this shit? It's like, okay, one, it's small. They want to do this. Why is that a bad thing? He was dead on when he said that they don't like interesting gameplay mechanics. I was like, that's why you don't. I was like, that's why all these indie games that are out now are only on PC. Because guess what? At least PC supports the creativity that the indie community has been making. That's why you don't see as many indies going to PlayStation anymore, because indies just realize, oh man, we don't want to be here anymore. I was like, that's why you have the support of the ID at Xbox program, because indies are just like, oh, we have a full platform where we can get support from you guys. Hell yeah, let's do that. They're doing things differently. And the fact is, none of these people that are complaining about these games are actually gaming or playing half these games. And the fact that they're calling it Game Pass filler trash or whatever, shovelware. So that means that everything in Game Pass is shovelware, right? So all those AAA games that third parties have asked for deals to put in there, so games like Doom, Metro. I'm pretty sure that they were praising Hellblade, Devil May Cry. Yep. I mean, all those games. Hang on. Yes. All those games that are in there that everyone was praising. praising, right? But as soon as they announce that it's going in PlayStation Now, or that it's going on sale or going to be free with the games for like PlayStation Networks, PlayStation Plus, it's like, oh, look at this, we getting all these bangers over here that Microsoft ain't getting over there on Xbox. It's like, bro, we've had that for months in Game Pass. Where you been at? Why y'all just now getting this? Come on now. I was like, y'all all stupid. Y'all sound idiotic. I was like, obviously, y'all aren't paying attention. Y'all are only reading the sensationalist news that tells you what you want. Be honest with the fact that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's it. I was like, if you don't like something, that's fine. You don't have to like it. I was like, I've played God of War. I like the story. I get infuriated and hated with the gameplay. And you're talking to a man who's beaten so many Dark Souls-like games. I did not like the way that the combat felt in that, because of the fact that one of the biggest drawbacks is the camera and how it works in the combat. Guess what? I've talked to Corey Barlog. He understands and agrees with my issues. But guess what? That's what you, the community, supposedly wanted. So don't act like you know everything when you're not. None of these people are even in these events talking to these devs and know the truth. All right? They need to all shut up and actually educate themselves, or just go read a goddamn book, because obviously they ain't reading anything in these games.
Nice. Oh, and big shout out to music again. Can't stop the I was going to say the A train, baby. Private Augusta Cole. Let's go. All right, bro. Cole Train. He is the shit.
Hey, remember, the Cole Train run a whole grain, baby. Woo!
That's just saying. Hey, man, I'm looking at that new Gears mode. Not the Gusher or the
Gridor?
whatever the hell the shotguns are called.
Gridiron?
Yeah, I'm not. But the other one where they got the super moves and shit, I'm liking that shit. I know my boy Crispy. I gotta ask his thoughts on that. I'm sure we'll talk about that on next tomorrow. But I don't know. That looks really fun.
That's the ability they can do in Escape and Horde mode, and his looks dope. Him along with the Carmine they added to as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Clayton?
Yes, yeah,
Clayton.
looks
The
dope.
grub killer himself.
Yes, that's
Who
dope.
loves it, baby?
That's dope.
Bruno headshots, I think.
Yeah,
Or
No, his is that he can just straight up charge and cause fire explosions.
Yeah,
I'm talking Quimera.
Yeah, Chimera.
Oh yeah, Mira. Ooh, yeah, the arcade mode.
Mira was dope. Yeah, did the explosions and shit. Yeah, that was dope. Anyway, so
although I'm looking forward to the return of the Theron guards. I always like the Theron guards.
Yeah.
Headshot.
We'll get to talk about it next week. But Bloody, give me your. You already give me your numbers.
My score? Yeah. 7.5 and 8. I was like, that's a fair. Okay. And people also, just real quick on that, people need to stop looking at these scores the way that they are. If you go back on how it was back in the early 2000s, 7.5 and 8 are great games. It doesn't need to be phenomenal. These are the games that are still enjoyable and well worth playing. Not everything needs to be a 9, 9.5, or supposedly all these 10s that are now coming out to say that's perfect. No, an 8 and a 7.5 are still good games, great games that are enjoyable.
All right, cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Lars.
No, I'm just saying true on that, because I don't know how many times I've heard people say that, they didn't like Red Dead Redemption, even though it was a high-rated game, which is fine. To me, I ain't got no problems about that. But when somebody say they don't like God of War for the same reason, you can't be like, no, you a liar, you're not a gamer. Bro, that don't make no sense. You just said the same thing for Red Dead Redemption. How the fuck?
Right. Like, I mean, that was
it's
crazy.
Different though, because I really play games.
Yeah, like that's crazy to me, because when I had said the whole thing about I said the God of War looked Rise-ish because of that the over the shoulder look. That wasn't an insult.
They tried to bury your ass for that.
Yeah, they were trying to kill me. Rise is trash, but the game, in all actuality, it was just a what God of War played like to me is a souped up version of Rise.
It was a hack and slash like Rise, but it tried using the fighting mechanics of Dark Souls.
Right, and it had cuts, and it had better cutscenes. If Rise came out today, Rise would be similar to God of War, except for the what I'm saying, there'll be a couple of different things when it comes to the QTEs, which that's the one thing I hate that God of War got rid of. But you know what I'm saying. But I love the QTEs from what Rise gave. I mean, just think about that. That game was made during the 360 era. So you know, just think of what Rise would look like now, or especially
No,
on the
Rise
Series
was
X.
one of the first was made at the end of the 360 era, but it came out. It was a launch shot for the one. But what kind of made Rise so unique with its QTEs is obviously it didn't try throwing all the symbols and buttons up on the screen. No, they built it into the UI in the game by using the colors on the enemies as a, hey, look, this is what you need to be hitting during this moment, or hey, use this attack, without having to hold your hand like a lot of those games be doing for like 5 hours. I'm just saying, stop hand holding me and telling me how to play the goddamn game. 17 fucking hours into it.
Woo! All right. Okay. All right. So, Slayer, give it to us. You're the one that's going to end us tonight. Let us know. Give us your score first of Bleeding Edge if you got a chance to play it, and then go ahead.
I didn't get a chance to play it, but I did. I hopped into your mixer earlier on this afternoon when you and Livewires was playing it. In fact, you know, you've been talking about this game since last year at E3, and I never bothered to look at it at all. I'm gonna put that out there. You know, sometimes if it's a movie or game, or whatever, it has to grab me however it grabs me. Otherwise, I'm not gonna put the effort into even looking into it, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, I saw you playing it, was watching it, and you know, we talked about it a little bit, and I think it was you mentioned. Had mentioned Power Stone or whatever, and I gotta say I agree with that. You know, it had that Overwatch vibe with Power Stone and a couple other elements with that MOBA element. In fact, I've never played a MOBA before, so whatever. It seems like everybody's grade that they're giving it is 7.5. Even IGN, and you know, after your mixer ended, I went to watch their video review. Now IGN, we all hate IGN because they're all suspect over there, but even they gave it the same grade. But the one knock they continually gave it over and over and over was about the camera. And the suspect thing about that was they kept using the same shot. You remember that character you were using, that samurai dude with the mask and all that with the sword?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reviewer was using that guy mostly as well. And he kept saying if you're a melee dude, so the camera's gonna have a problem but they kept using that same shot of him being in the corner or whatever, and you can't see your dude because of the camera. To belabor the point that this is what's wrong with the game, but in the end, their review score was the same as everything else. So it seems like that's what the score is, but I really can't say I didn't play it. I'm not really interested in playing it, but it seems like, you know, it is what everybody is saying. It seems accurate. So I'm gonna have to leave that at that. Real quick, just want to say that, you know, this whole Twitter thing real quick, like, yo, you know that meme with Jackie Chan when he's holding his hands and he's all confused, like,
oh yeah. Oh, matter of fact,
it says it all right there. That says it all right there. You know, I don't understand, man. Even Chris Hart, you know, had to come out and be like, "This is wrong."
Yeah, he did.
I'm paraphrasing what he said. He did. I mean, now 12 seconds later, who's back on his, you know, stand bullshit? But at least even he had to be like, "This is not cool," or whatever he said. You know, not. And the last thing I want to say on this is, I guarantee you, whoever did this, you know the name, you know from Twitter. You know, one of these stands out there that at least you know the name. Who knows who it could be? It really don't matter. But this is some childish, like, what kind of...
They likely licked the boots of some podcaster out there.
Yo, if it wasn't for Bloody, you know, mentioning, you know, about how, you know, you don't want to be... I could curse up a storm right now talking about these people and how they're acting. So I'm just going to move on from this, man. I really didn't have a lot to say on this to begin with. And if I get heated on this, man, I'm just going to blow up. So I'm just going to leave it at that because this is just some old bullshit right here.
I got you. Okay, so for me, as my thought on it is, you know, look, it was bizarre because I never dealt with it before. I mean, I've dealt with everything. Somebody made videos about my kids, pictures. You know, they even made fake sock accounts. Got me 100, 108 got accused of making was making the sock accounts for us, or we was making our own. No. They're serious, and that we were doing this and going after people and doing this and doing that. Listen, I mean, this is my thing.
They've gone after a lot of us. They even spoke
right. And that was one of the reasons why the ladies decided to leave GRG was because there could have been other factors as well, but they were getting attacked and they had nothing to do with anything. Like, I'm on the plane, I come back, and then next thing you know, I'm hearing everybody saying this, and I got pictures of me, and then all this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And it just comes to show, it's just like what I said. Like when I jumped on other podcasts and things before, I came in there and I've always kept my same stance. Yeah, there's sometimes I got a little rowdy as well. And then and then like when I really realized that things was not what they seemed, especially when somebody would say something else to me in private, it was like with the whole all day tape, like when that was released, and like that was a private conversation between me and All Day. That wasn't something that I did live because I don't do shit like that live. Like whatever I say to somebody in private is what we talk about in private. That's it. Good, bad, whatever. And that's when I knew right then that this was about bullshit. Like I understand that it may be comedy, it may be this, it may be that, but I didn't get into YouTube. I didn't get into the gaming talking thing to be on some fuckboy shit. I come to be here to talk about games. Yeah, cut up, act a fool, you know what I'm saying? Do it, but then yet still have a little bit of professionalism to let people to be a podcast and to be a you can check out my videos and everything to where we can at least everybody can listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you also got younger people that want to listen to shit and they don't want to hear people saying the N-word every 2 seconds or motherfucker every other word. You know what I'm saying? Look, that's just not how I look at it of when I started this, and that's why I bounced, and that's why I wasn't going to be a part of it. And people can say whatever they want to. They can be mad. They can be angry. I'm not going back to that. I never am. I never will. When I cut it off, I cut you off, Jack. Ain't nothing to be said. Ain't nothing to be done. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no ill will towards anybody. But I look at this.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't have no ill will towards anybody. I never will. You know what I'm saying? I was raised different. But all I look at. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But this is the thing here. I'll probably never ever see these people in face to face, and you know what I'm saying?
And they're gonna slip up.
Yeah, well, whatever the case may be, I'm not gonna do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I know is that we, you know what I'm saying, as people of color, and everybody on this panel except for Op, or we don't know what the hell he is. You know what I'm saying?
I know what Op is, man. We're gonna stop doing that.
He's Colombian.
He's Chud. No, he's Chud.
What's Chud?
You don't remember them sewer creatures?
Oh, he's grayish. Okay, I got you. But this the thing right here. Yeah, he's Irish. He's Samoan. We don't know. He's mixed. We don't know what the hell Op is. Anyway, so but no, the thing of it is that look, is people is everybody on here is a person of color, and we get looked at and criticized by white YouTubers and by white viewers and listeners, and they get a perception that we are all the same damn way, and we're not. And that to me, you know what I'm saying, and that's the thing to me is that where some people might say, I want to keep it funky, I want to keep it real. The only thing you're doing is fucking hurting yourself. If you keep it, you know what I'm saying, if I'm gonna keep it real, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'll get somewhere and I'll be a certain way. So you know what I'm saying with how I talk amongst my friends. But once I'm talking against people I don't know, this is how you're gonna hear me talk. You know what I'm saying? So this is, I don't care if anybody likes my channel, likes me, or you know what I'm saying? I don't care. Kick rocks. You ain't gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep it moving. That's just how I look at it. I do this for the love. I do this for the passion. I don't do this for fame. I mean, I would love to get to great status with my people and help them get there and get bigger. But I don't. If everybody on this panel get way further than I do, I'm just happy and blessed that I was be a part of what they are doing. I'm not going to ever be jealous of anybody's success. Nobody's success. So that's just me in a whole. I thought that was bullshit. It was garbage, but I'm still going to keep pushing. And I'm going to give a big shout out to Metacritic for taking care of that, because I had no idea Metacritic was going to be that quick, because they went on there and they were like, it's done. That shit is out of here, Jack. Finito, gone, cutting. So that's it, man. So enough of the preaching. I'm getting the hell out of here. Lemon, you sound like you about to roll over. So anyway, man, thank you guys so much. We doing our sign outs. I said I thought we was gonna do 2 hours, but man, we went further as we always do. But 108, where can they find you at, brother?
In the ER now.
Damn.
Oh
Cradle.
shit!
You can find me in Cradle to the Grave too.
This motherfucker
listen,
that
man.
cradle to the grave.
Yeah.
108 Dragons TV on everything, man. Mixer, YouTube. Especially hit up that YouTube channel. Like 50 people away from that stack. Appreciate everybody. I really like that.
You 50 away from 1,000, huh?
Yeah, and I definitely, and I haven't even been putting in the work because I've been messed up. But I really appreciate all the calls from our team from GRG and Megatron for shouting me out, checking in on me.
Shout out to Megatron. Yeah, shout out
Family,
to
bro. Family. You know we always looking out. We know we always
I really went through some BS, but my family, I'm Puerto Rican and black, so they called me and said put on speakerphone. And them Christians, boy, I had to go through a seance.
You still here. You still here.
They was praying in the group. I said, yo, I don't deserve this. Like, there's too many of y'all talking at the same time. They start talking about the blood of Christ. I said, oh, man, my Puerto Rican family love me.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling a little better. I ate my first meal today. And hopefully I can get back to work Sunday, at least functionable. But 108 Dragons TV and everything. And I appreciate everybody who gave me that call from GRG. Facts.
No doubt, brother. No doubt. Thank you, and get better. All right. 100. You still here? Normally you be bouncing out, but I guess you having fun. Anyway, what's going on with you? Where everybody can find you at, brother?
I can find me on the interwebs. I just type my name in. I'm American Most Wanted.
Okay, all right. You America's Most Wanted. All right.
Look, America does not constitute all of Miami there, white boy.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
I ain't white. I'm beige.
All right.
Oh.
Close enough. Anyway, so, yeah, close enough. You do Mixer? You do anything else?
Yeah, I do Mixer. Y'all can catch me on Mixer. My Mixer is, I think it's 1_100_the 000. I usually post it. When I go on, I usually post it on my Twitter. Y'all follow me on Twitter with my ignorant self. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk too often on there. I don't talk to the ignorant ones. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to all the positive people that, you know what I'm saying, that appreciate me, you know what I'm saying, doing the good things for Xbox.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Phil, I need an Xbox Series X for free.
Yes.
I'll buy one, give me one for free.
Yes. Now since GRG's gonna be on Mixer, man, we trying to get it up, man. We trying to go ahead and do something, man. We need some kickback, man. We need some kickback. All of us need some kickback. Free games or some posters or some autographs or something.
Lamar Wilson, man. I'm trying to be Lamar Wilson.
Take us out to Redmond when this is all over, Phil. Come on.
Yeah. Do something, man. Yeah, hook us up, man. Hook us up.
And Aaron, give me a bottle of that good scotch, man.
All right, man. Yeah.
228. Don't hate. That's my number.
Right. Yeah, big shout out to my girl Shannon Loftus. You know what I'm saying? Much support. You know what I'm saying? Doing your thing out there. Man, great stuff. All right. My boy Devin, he asked me, am I going to be making a run on Bleeding Edge? I will see. I will go ahead and I'm going to go talk to the old lady. I know that she's, I heard some movement, so I might have to make that trip in there and see what she's doing.
Yeah, you better go make that trip.
I might make that trip and see what she's doing. No. She know when it's GRG time. She had company and everything. She get company to come over and stuff when I'm doing GRG now, so she don't care. But yeah, no. So I'll go there and make that trip. At least say what's up to her before she go to bed.
Who's Yo? Oh, that's him and Yo. He's on his little podcast with little friends.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. They talking.
He gets a little excited every now and then, but he just do his own thing.
That's exactly right. Yep, they're just sipping wine, talking shit, probably looking at stupid ass reality TV, looking at the guys or whatever. Who knows? You know how women are. So anyway, let's see. Live Wire.
Kick your ass.
I know she gonna come in here and kick my ass. Live Wire. Where can they find you at, bro?
Find me on my channel. I'm posting up gameplay. Me playing this Predators Hunting Ground. Game is trash.
Oh, don't say that. It's bad.
Oh.
Is it the game or the beta?
It's the beta. It's disappointing. It's not glitchy. Like, it's not broken. It's just boring. It's like, okay. And it looks okay. It looks like,
it graphically didn't look strong, but I thought it might have been.
It looks like kind of like a downgraded version of State of Decay 2. Just because of the anti-aliasing alone, man. They need to really fix that. I know that's a big issue on like PlayStation game ports, they don't. They kind of missing features and shit.
Oh yeah, they
You
do.
would
They do.
expect to have on
But
PC.
you best believe Horizon Zero Dawn and
And you only can
Death
download it.
Stranding is gonna look woo.
I tried to download it on Steam, but it wasn't there.
They're gonna look good. They're gonna
Yeah,
look
'cause
damn good.
right now
Ooh,
you
yeah.
only can download it in Epic Store, but they don't have any of those features. I didn't even try it on PlayStation because I was, I wanted to play the best looking version. Take forever to get in there. And then when you actually play, there ain't nobody really in there. I mean, I was killing a bunch of
So
like
you saying hashtag nobody
NPCs.
plays no online games over there,
Bro, it was me and
except
one
for
other
COD
dude, and I couldn't even find him.
and NBA 2K and Madden
You
and
know what this
FIFA.
shit is? This is Arc Evolve. What's that game? Evolve.
Oh, Evolve.
Oh yeah, that
This
game.
is
I don't see that.
Evolve.
I don't see that game. Yeah, they got to bring those type of games to Xbox to see if they're going to get some kind of PC and Xbox first because they just PlayStation gamers for the most part, man. They don't get into those online games like that. And that's not an insult to them. That's just they're used to what they enjoy. Like Friday the 13th. You know what I'm saying? I don't. How did that do on PlayStation? I have no idea. I know that there were some people that were streaming it on PlayStation, but I don't know how popular it is on
Nah,
either.
but you know what? You could kind of tell from the jump, like, all right, you the predator, and you basically just run around stalking people. But I could just tell, and I was the predator. That's supposed to be the best character to play with. You know what I mean? Because you army
Yep.
guy, you just doing the same shit.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
Oh,
ding.
there's the
sorry.
shark. Oh shit, the shark.
Woo! There's
Ding up the
that
members.
shark.
Damn, night music, man.
Oh,
Damn,
man.
music.
Extender.
And
You
that's
making it rain over here.
music is saying, get the hell off of here, man. You don't want to spend no more
Well,
embers.
If you
Thank
play
you, bro.
Predator, you got to know what you're doing because me and Bloody, we killed that sucker
Yeah, we play against the devs.
Oh,
We play
and we
wow.
killed him.
He
Yeah.
said,
Smoked
great
him.
show tonight, gamers. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
music. Man. Thank you.
We was chasing that sucker all through the trees. You would think we was the predator. I was on his neck.
He said he was on his
But
neck.
I was
Yeah.
on. I'm
He
not
said
running. I weaponed up, and there you go. And we was
I literally,
airing them out.
yeah, I literally kept
We
saying,
killed them.
like, what
We
the
beat the
hell? I
devs,
was
and
like,
they
what
just
the
was
hell?
looking at. They was looking at us like, "What the hell just happened?" I said, "Oh, y'all lost."
Yeah, I don't that whole 1 versus 5. I don't think that shit works well in that type of situation. It just kind of
It does if you play. You got to play with people that play as a team. You can't have a game like that and everybody doing what they want to do.
No, but what I'm saying is it gets boring for the person that's the OP predator dude. Like to me, it would be better if it was like 3 versus 15 or something. If you wanted to keep those still 1v5, just add a couple more predators in there, so you can at least team up with somebody. Because otherwise, it just gets boring and you just run around stalking people.
He makes a good point. Is that sometimes in those games it gets boring. Sometimes when you play the waiting game, I was like, and that's the one thing that's difficult to balance in those 1v4 isometric games.
Yeah,
that's what makes Friday the 13th work, even though that was just a really poorly optimized game, or it makes Dead by Daylight work, or what we're seeing with the Resident Evil Project Resistance beta work is the fact of there's a sense of, hey, the players can fight back, but there's enough interactivity and there's something always going on instead of just having to sit back and wait and only attack for a minute and then wait another 5 for a new moment to get in there. It's not this constant what's the word? It's not there's always a constant tension to make it worthwhile of always pursuing them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We get the hell out of here. All right.
Yeah,
Live.
please.
You said enough. All right. Okay. Thank you. Check out Livewire's channel. His ass is wiggle. Keep on going. All right. So who else I got left? Bloody Knuckles. Tell everybody where they can find you.
They can find me all over the internet on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and most importantly, Mixer, streaming 5 times a week. All at bloody_Nux, KNUX. So make sure that they all follow me everywhere, guys. I was like, I will be streaming tomorrow. I was like, as well as they want to make sure they're following me on YouTube and here on Mixers, where we also host the Smash Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things geek, nerdy news, and geeky goodness, where we talk all things pop culture, TV, movies, comics, manga, anime, all that good stuff. I'll be streaming 3 times. I got we're gonna be playing Halo with Op. Got the podcast, and I got sponsored straight tomorrow night as well. So make sure you're there.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Slayer. Where can they find you at?
Yeah, you know the vibe. You can find me on Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, your sister's ass, the Pony Express. I'm all over the place,
shit.
man.
Oh,
He said your sister's ass.
Oh my goodness! All right, this is a damn shame. All right,
Oh wow.
did anybody else did I miss?
Oh, he said it was nasty.
Op. Did I?
Yo,
did I,
No, that
did I,
might be enough.
Where can
That
they
might
find
have been
you?
enough.
Yeah.
Here every Friday, Smash every Saturday, Twitter, Operation Oppo.
All right, man. Thank you.
There you go.
We are out of here, man. As I always say, if you do not have to, if you do, you know what I'm saying, Operation Oppo, we still trying to find out. It's like finding Waldo, bro. We still trying to get the nationality. Oh, my bro, man. We trying to get it. We trying to get it.
Oh, wow.
So I think today my boy is Samoan. That's what he is today. So, next week he might be Norwegian.
He's got that Colombiana kind of sad.
I don't know. Maybe next week he'll be Sweden, you know what I'm saying, or Norwegian or something. I don't know. Russian maybe. Maybe he's out there sitting with Putin. We never know.
Out here, dang.
Yeah, man, that boy all over the world, man. Anyway, so as I always say, as y'all see Power Stone going away in the wind, if you don't have to go to work, which a lot of you don't, me included, then you need to be gaming. If you ain't doing both, then there's only one other thing that you got to do, and that is what, gentlemen?
That pants up dance off.
Thank you, bloody, because that was not coming for me.
I know. I was gonna say that ain't coming from my boy. Anyway, good night, everybody. We out. Peace.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.